football, big or small. Join us for the next 9 hours. Starting in Ottawa, the Eskimos are there, and that'll be followed by Saskatchewan and Toronto and the Montreal Alouettes and the BC Lions in Vancouver. Super Saturday on the CFL on TSN. Glad you could join us and be a part of it. Going to sit around and watch with some friends. I will be. Rod Smith along with Henry Burris, Davis Sanchez, and Milt Stegall. Associates now. Football fans. We got a lot to watch, too. Coors Light answering the call, beginning with Edmonton and Ottawa. Who you got, Milton?
Logan Kilgore, their quarterback. This is his team now for the rest of this year at least, and he's getting another opportunity starting tonight if he can lead this team to the Grey Cup to see what they can do.
Eskimos fans not happy about losing their quarterback, but Logan Kilgore will embrace this opportunity. I'm sure he's pleased, ready to go.
Well, we got the double barrel from the other side. Ottawa's playing both JJ and Double D to see which quarterback can lead them to the promised land. Over these next 5 games, if they don't score 56 points, they've scored the least points by an offense in CFL history, guys.
You're saying the Ottawa Red Black offense?
Yes, they got to do something. This is their last opportunity to make the playoffs.
You have to have a phone to answer the call, though, right?
I know, Milt, but hey, I'm holding on to every gram of hope
they got a old school payphone outside the
This is what's going on up in Ottawa right now. Every last bit of hope we can hold on to, we're trying.
And by the way, I mean, this was supposed to be Trevor Harris's return. Trevor Harris is on the 6th game now, which is why it's Logan Kilgore's job now, and no big return to Ottawa. Big for both of these teams, too. The Eskimos trying to end a 4-game losing streak. The kickoff is coming up. Ottawa's playoff hopes hanging by an absolute thread. The CFL on TSN. Let's get this 9 hours started. We'll be back with kickoff after this.
We're friends.
Vivian Ellis of Abbotsford, BC. It's your chance to win big thanks to Save on Foods' $1 million touchdown to win. If a kickoff is returned for a TD, you could win a $10,000 home theater package. If 2 kickoffs are returned all the way in this game, well, you could also win $1 million. Good luck, Vivian. Let's get the marathon started. Head to Ottawa now and join Gord Miller and Matt Dunnigan.
Rain for much of this day in the nation's capital, tailing off now. The sun peeking out as the first of our 3 games today starts with the Edmonton Eskimos visiting Ottawa. Edmonton with a chance to all but clinch at least a crossover spot in the CFL playoffs.
Yeah, you heard Henry Burris knows a little something about Ottawa quarterbacks, and he called them double barrel. We've got 2, Jonathan Jennings and Dominic Davis, trying to figure it out. Starting with Jonathan Jennings, he'll give it a go, see if he can't rekindle some magic. And yeah, you also heard the boys talk about this guy, Logan Kilgore. His team took it on the chin today from Iowa, 47-3 drubbing. But he's looking to go out there and take control of this football team.
Edmonton Eskimos have lost 4 in a row, coming off a 30-27 loss to Hamilton at home last week. Ottawa has lost 6 in a row, coming off a 40-7 defeat to BC last week. Ottawa hasn't won at home since June 20th. A victory against Saskatchewan that made them 2-0, just 1 win since then. Edmonton won the toss, elected to defer. Ottawa takes the football to start the football game. Jeff Hayes from his 15-yard line, and he gets flattened at the 21-yard line. He was wrapped up and dropped on the return by Godfrey Onyeka for Edmonton.
Gord, you sit down and you talk to this guy and in interviews, and you're really impressed every time you walk away. And he gets another opportunity to rekindle his career. He's 5 years in from Saginaw Valley State, and he's looking to go out there and play fast and free and slinging all over the yard and try to kickstart this offense.
Ottawa hasn't scored a touchdown in his last 44 possessions. 0 for the last 2 games. And Jennings swings it out quickly, and the pass is caught by Dominique Rhymes. And Rhymes gets a gain of, call it 4 on the play.
Yeah, and I like Dominic Rhymes. I fell in love with this guy at the beginning of the season when he stood up for his quarterback, Dominic Davis, at the time. And if you want to kickstart an offense and find a way to the end zone, get Brad Sinopoli more involved. He's really been underutilized this year. And Alex Mateus, he's in charge of an offensive line that's looking to open up some holes for Moses Madu and control that line of scrimmage.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Play fake, Jennings up and running, and he'll dive towards the 40-yard line, get a first down. One of the problems last week for Ottawa, 6 consecutive 2-and-outs. They kept their defense on the field a long time.
Yeah, and things just kind of open up for Jonathan Jennings right here in the middle of the defense as he drops back for pass. Good pressure on the outside from Boateng and Nick Usher, and then he just steps up the middle and guts the defense and moves the chains.
On first down, a four-man rush. Jennings swings that out. And the pass is caught by Caleb Hawley. And Hawley stopped for a gain of 4.
Yeah, coming to this ball game, the Edmonton Eskimos, their defense was really, I think, defined by this guy right here, Kwaku Boateng and company, and second most sacks coming in this week in the Canadian Football League. And Vontae Diggs really doing a fine job at the will linebacker spot. Very active, can do a lot of things on that back end. And you got Josh Johnson on the corner, too, I think, having a heck of a season. Great to see him back in the lineup on a regular basis.
Another second and long for Ottawa. The four-man rush. And the draw play goes nowhere. As Moses Manu gets his first carry of the game, and Edmonton forces Ottawa to punt.
Yeah, kind of a passive play call there at 2nd and 7. You know, just trying to pound it in there and catch him. And obviously a zone defense. And defensive line and linebackers had a different plan of attack, and they shut him down easily.
Civione back to punt. Christian Jones to receive, had a 100-yard missed field goal return last week. Not for a touchdown, though. And Jones gets up to the 35-yard line. And that's where the Edmonton Eskimos will take over on their opening possession. Logan Kilgore, once again, the man at the controls as his team tries to snap a 4-game losing streak. Back with the football after this. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, ranked #1 in quality by J.D. Power.
Yeah, and we got a player down the field there after that. And Jean-Philippe Bolduc went down after the play. And you can watch it. They're kind of tangled up. They're right there. And right there, you can see his knee get caught up underneath him. And he has troubles finding his way off the football field.
Play fake to C.J. Cable on first down. And the pass is swung out to Ricky Collins. And Collins up the sidelines. Gets up close to midfield, across it to the Ottawa 54-yard line, and a quick first down for Edmonton.
It's always nice when the game starts off like this, and you're Logan Kilgore trying to find a rhythm early, which he did not last week. You caught fire late, and you little play action. Gable sucks him in. You got one-on-one outside with Chaffee and Collins. Collins runs through the arm tackle, picks up a nice little first down after easy pitch and catch from quarterback to receiver.
First down carry to Gable, and Gable with 2 touchdowns in the first meeting of the year. A 16-12 win by Edmonton in early August gets a gain of a couple.
Yeah, Logan Kilgore, really a small body of work, 178 pass attempts in the Canadian Football League. Been around for 4 years now, and as I said, he's from Middle Tennessee State, and his team took it on the chin. And I'm sure he's watching a little of that today, trying to relax, settle himself down, trying to get this offense in gear.
Second and long for Edmonton. Kilgore has time, steps up and throws underneath. Gable gets wrapped up right away. Jared Fernandez up to make the stop, and well short of a first down. The ball marked at the 47-yard line.
Logan Kilgore standing out there defiantly looking at head coach Jason Moss, you know, looking at him like, come on, keep us out here. You know, I'm feeling it. I know what he means, but coach not going to take a gamble on the 40 on their own 40 on Ottawa's 47-yard line.
3rd and 3. Edmonton's only tried 1 field goal all season outside the 50-yard line.
Yeah, and as accurate as Sean White is, he doesn't have that really big leg. His max is about 48 going into the wind here.
R.J. Harris back to receive the punt from Hugh O'Neill. Looking for the sidelines, and O'Neill gets it to go out inside the 20. And they'll mark it at the 15-yard line. That's where Ottawa will begin its second possession of the football game. Still no score here in the nation's capital. The CFL on TSN, the first of our triple header this Saturday. CFL and TSN tripleheader keeps rolling. Next up, live mic game between Saskatchewan and Toronto. Then we'll go to BC as the Owls go head-to-head with the Lions, coming off that dramatic comeback win last week. The action gets underway immediately following this game only on TSN. Ottawa takes over first down at its own 15-yard line. And the first down carry goes to Brendan Galanders. Moses Madu with the carry and gets a gain of maybe a yard in the play. Ottawa had just 16 yards passing in the first half last week against BC.
Yeah, and you watch this line right here, and they're going to try to. They got an extra tight end over here, try to power football, and Edmonton says no, not today. Washes it down and limits it to 1 yard. Trying to get something established up front, not a bad idea. Take some pressure off those quarterbacks.
High snap for Jennings. Here comes the rush, gets it away, and the pass is incomplete, dropped. As it was in the hands of Dominique Rhymes. That'll be a 2-and-out for Ottawa, which leads the league in that category.
Yeah, you know, here's some boos out here, but I can tell you that's a tough catch because it just comes out of the. At watches, you see right to left. He's coming across the field here, and the ball just appears out of nowhere, and you got to react. And fans are not happy, but that's a tough catch to make when the ball just explodes on you.
Jones back to receive the punt. And Leone had that go off the side of his foot. Jones at midfield.
It's a nice play. He short hopped that like a shortstop.
So Edmonton with good field position here at the Ottawa 50-yard line.
Yeah, and you can see it coming off the side of his foot here. And this is not Richie Leone type of punt. And it happens to the best of them. And he's one of the best. He's got a tremendous average on the season. It's around 49+ yards. And this one just comes right off the right side of his foot.
So Edmonton gets the stop. By the way, the Eskimo defense leads the league in forcing 2-and-outs. So first down Eskimos at the Ottawa 50. 4-man rush. And Kilgore gets that away. And a gain of maybe 3 on the play.
Yeah, and how can you not talk about, when you talk about the Edmonton Eskimos, not talk about Greg Ellington and C.J. Gable? That's by air and by land there. These guys get it done, and they're both close to pretty nice marks here today, and we'll talk about that further. And talk about a guy at 6'5", 327 pounds, and he's the smallest guy on the offensive line.
Eats too much lettuce.
That's David Beard.
Gotta get some more steaks in there.
50th center from Alberta.
Davis 4 for Jones. Now on 2nd and 6. The pass floated up over the head of the intended target, Tavares Daniels.
That's adrenaline right there, and Logan Kilgore is beside himself right now because he's got him wide open. One-on-one situation. Get on your horse and ride till you can't ride no more and beat the man, and he does. And ball's just overthrown. Nice job of catching up.
Got him behind Chris Randall.
By the defense there, and Randall, he knew that he was beaten, and he did everything he could to get back into play. And did a nice job of closing that gap. The ball was just overthrown. Logan would like to have that one back.
Nate Bahar and R.J. Harris back to receive. And O'Neill once again looking for the sideline. A low driving kick. This is Harris from the 2-yard line.
Interesting that he would play that at the 2-yard line and not give up a single there, but the way that the Ottawa REDBLACKS were playing that punt formation, one return on either side, and they're bound and determined not to give up a single there.
Mark Mackey, the special team stop for Edmonton. Still no score here in Ottawa. The first quarter on the CFL on TSN. Ottawa coach Rick Campbell told us we'd see both quarterbacks today, and Dominique Davis is in fact in to start for the Ottawa offense in this series. Campbell explained why.
You're in the business of winning. That's what this is all about. So it's not an ideal situation, but I think they know we're just trying to do whatever we can to try to win games, and that's really what it's about. It's not about sending messages or proving points.
And so Davis comes on, and he starts 1st and 10 from his own 11-yard line.
Yeah, so they started at the 24, the 15, and now the 11. They're going backwards.
Get off to Moses Madu, and Madu close to an Ottawa first down. It's worth pointing out that CFL statistician Steve Daniels points out the one stat that's more indicative than any other drive start. The team that starts in better field position over the course of a game wins about 83% of the time.
That's a battle of field position. That's why I love the mentality of every inch counts, and it does. It adds up. Jonathan Jennings, I'm standing on the sidelines going, really? Hand the ball off to Moses. He gets 10 at first and 10. That's a good thing. He's cheering for his teammates, but he's saying, why can't they do that when I'm out there?
On first down, Davis up and throwing, and the pass is caught. R.J. Harris on the sidelines brings it down, and 2 quick first downs to the Ottawa offense. Out to the 41-yard line, a gain of 19.
Yeah, and this is a tight window. It closes down quickly. He's right here. He's going to run an out route. You're going to watch this defender fall underneath it. And, boy, this is fitted right in that sweet spot. Oh, just where it had to be.
Madu a fumble, and Madu quickly jumps up to grab that. It'll be a loss of 5 on the play, bring up 2nd and 15.
Paul, that is a nice look at it right here, and that ball just goes straight up in the air like somebody ejected it from his arms, and he actually hit his own man, ran into the backside of him, and he was fortunate to get that back.
Ottawa's lost more fumbles than any team in the league this season, but lucky to get that one back. Now 2nd and long, and here comes the rush. Davis flushed out. No one near him. Throws to the sidelines, and the pass incomplete. He was trying to find Nate Bahar, and once again, an Ottawa receiver open, couldn't squeeze it. And Ottawa will have to punt.
And that was Forrest Hightower, 5th-year player from San Jose State. Really tight coverage, and you've got Dominic Davis. He breaks contain here, and this is a great job by the Onamba tracking him down, and watch the slap there late. Forrest Hightower says, not today.
On 3rd down, Christian Jones back to receive the punt again from Leone. Much better kick this time. Chases Jones inside the 30-yard line. Jones taken down a good special teams tackle by Kevin Brown. Logan Kilgore will come on at quarterback. Trevor Harris will visit with our Brent Wallace on the sidelines when the CFL and TSN continues from Ottawa in just a moment. For the foreseeable future, Logan Kilgore will be the man at quarterback for the Edmonton Eskimos. Trevor Harris, injured a couple weeks ago, is on the sidelines with our Brent Wallace.
Thanks very much, Gord. Yes, Trevor, we found out the news yesterday. You were placed on the 6-game injured list. Your reaction to obviously not ideal timing for you. Of course, there's never a good time to be injured.
Yeah, it's never a good time to be injured, but I'm doing everything I can to get back in time, and I firmly believe I'll be back before that 6 games, and it's just a matter of time for it to heal, and we'll give it a go from there. It's just some of the things that need time.
This was your first game back here since signing with Edmonton in the offseason. I want to know, obviously you were hoping to play this game. What's it like being back here?
It's bittersweet. Edmonton's home now, but this feels like home still, and you know, the reception from the fans that I've talked to and the people that I've seen around town has been awesome. It's great to be back and talk to some of the guys, but at the same time, just focused in on trying to get this win for Edmonton for us.
Is it almost better that you're not playing in this game the way everybody's been talking to you so far today?
No, absolutely not. I'd be a lot less talkative had I be playing, but I'd much rather be playing this game, and I tried everything under the sun in terms of, you know, getting back as quick as I could too, but just wasn't ready yet.
Thanks, Trevor. Appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Gord?
C.J. Gable, a gain of 7 on the play. Edmonton was penalized objectionable conduct on Christian Jones on the return, moved them back 10 yards, so now it's 2nd and 3 Edmonton from the 35-yard line. Kilgore last week
Caught Tyler late.
Yeah.
Had him tied at 27-27 at one point.
The touchdown passes late last week, and now Gable gets stacked up by the Ottawa defense. First man in was Avery Ellis, pushes him back, and on 2nd and short, the Eskimos get nothing. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Yeah, and he's coming right at you. And Gord, you said it right. He got stacked up. Just nowhere to run at the line of scrimmage. Point of attack is stymied. Those big offensive linemen just couldn't get around him. And he just kept going backwards, and the posse gets to him. And that's a loss. And looking to punt one more time.
Second straight 2 and out for Edmonton. Slowly, Ottawa trying to pry the field position game their way.
I love that.
A good punt by Leone. A penalty to Edmonton on the return. A 2 and out. And now Ottawa's got a chance to get some decent field position.
Absolutely, for the first time today. Gordon, I love that recognition, how important that is. And it's a bad punt, too, so you might get a little return.
Harris lets it drop. Flag comes down for no yards. And Harris gets a couple up the sidelines. He'll get to the 39-yard line and be helped by the penalty. So the penalty will move the ball to the 44-yard line. That's where Ottawa will go to work. And we've seen the platooning situation. So now Dominic Davis comes back on a quarterback. I recall a young Matt Dunnigan platooning with Damon Allen.
What?
In Edmonton back in the day.
What?
You were not a big fan.
I don't know if we platooned, but I can tell you that looking back what Damon and Tracy did, understanding that all three of us were on a team together in 1987, was you really cherish those times and understand just how important it is for all the guys to be working with each other.
Right.
And in support, and oftentimes you hear these quarterbacks talk about it, and I know that Dominic Davis and Jonathan Jennings are in the same boat. They want to do well individually, but they're going to help the guy out that's doing it out there as much as possible.
8 of 4, 2nd and 6. 3-man rush, and the pass is caught. Room to run now. Marco Dubois gets into Edmonton territory. Brought down at the 43-yard line, a gain of 18. Just the 3rd catch of the year for Marco Dubois.
His 5th of his 2-year career. So that's got to be exciting. Breaks free, and he's got some room to run. That's closed in a hurry. Boy, that's exciting, man. Make a tough catch with defender draped all over the back of you, Money Hunter, and move the chains.
Back to the ground is Madu. And Madu gets wrapped up by Alex Bazzi. The gain is 2.
Tough sledding in there. Defense, both defenses right now just locking down on the run, so to speak.
Well, the first meeting of the year, Matt, in Edmonton in August was a defensive struggle. 16-12 was the score.
Yeah. And but the time of possession was just dominated by the Edmonton Eskimos in that football game, 35-12 to 24-48. That always seems to have a play in an outcome of the football game.
2nd and 8. Davis throws towards the first down marker. The pass is caught by R.J. Harris. A gain of 6. He'll be at least 2 yards short.
Yeah, and a sure tackle by Vontae Diggs, that Will linebacker I spoke about earlier, introducing the defense to you. And it's coming right at you. And watch Vontae Diggs. He says no, and he just whips him down. No more forward progress, nothing. In fact, he goes backwards. That's just strength and athletic ability there.
On comes Lewis Ward to try the field goal. He's 32 of 35 this year. Chance to get the first points of the football game. Ward puts it up and through. Slowly the field tilts in Ottawa's favor. And 3 points are the result. So Davis engineers the first scoring drive for Ottawa, if that counts for anything.
Well, I had a great long talk with Lewis Ward yesterday before our sit-downs, and he and I were sitting on a bench on the sidelines for a good 25 minutes and talked about his 69 in a row and that benchmark that he set tremendously over last season and this season, and what it was like to get a standing ovation after he actually went out there and didn't do his job. And he had to take a step back and realize the appreciation the fans have for him and what he did. And tremendous, tremendous feat. And he knows he wasn't out there alone. He had his teammates, Barassa, and certainly his holder, and Richie Leone, a big part of that moving forward. And he's starting his own streak right now.
So Leone will kick it off. Brian Walker and Christian Jones are back to receive. This is Jones from the 15-yard line. Jones gets a block and gets out to the 34-yard line before he's tackled by Darius Jackson.
Yeah, and you've got Logan Kilgore, you know.
His start last week was his first in 3 years.
Yeah, shaking off some cobwebs there, figuring out how to do it. No wonder the kid started slow, finished really strong, gave his team a chance at the end. They couldn't seal the deal.
Down 24-0 in that game after the first half.
Because Dane Evans, who's on fire right now, just lit him up early and then came alive late in that ball game to put his team in position for Harilahu to kick the game-winning banking field goal. And Logan Kilgore just refused to go away.
Quick throw by Kilgore. And a first down for Edmonton on the catch by Ricky Collins. Pick up his 11 on the play.
I asked Logan about his arm. He talked about his strengths yesterday, and he didn't want to brag, but he talked about his consistency as a player, as a quarterback, and being the same in practice as well as on game day, because you don't want to change, and how that would be alarming for your teammates to see a different guy. So he wants to be consistent. I like that about what he said about how he learned that from Ricky Ray, being consistent. He's consistently more loose than Ray, and I like that about him.
High snap as Gable on the first down carry. And Gable is wrapped up on the play by Jared Fernandez. Limits the gain to a couple on the play. It's 2nd and 8. So Gerard Fernandez with another tackle for Ottawa. And these two teams try to pry this thing open. Basically, an Edmonton win today.
Just watch the pressure right here and the ability to stop the run on 1st and 10, forcing these 2nd and longs. That's just dominating, getting to the football. Fernandez runs is free and clear because the big boys up front are eating up those big offensive linemen.
Should be the final play of the quarter. 2nd and 8. Kilgore back, gets flushed, off and running, and he should have it. He dives ahead down to the Ottawa 53-yard line.
I'm not sure. I mean, that's a great effort. You know,
if he gets a left-footed spot, he's got it. They mark it right at the 54, which is where he needed to be for the first down.
I'm going to bring him in.
All right, so Ottawa gets the only points of the opening quarter and leads Edmonton 3-0 after the opening 15 minutes on the CFL on TSN, the first of 3 on this Saturday tripleheader. The numbers through the opening quarter in a defensive battle thus far.
Stunning numbers.
Yeah, both teams under 100 net yards. No turnovers thus far. Time of possession favors Ottawa slightly with 8.5 minutes. So for the foreseeable future, with Trevor Harris out, it'll be Logan Kilgore, quarterback for the Edmonton Eskimos. A tough start last week for his team, down early, but he led them back in the second half. What do you think?
Well, he hadn't made a start in a long time, like almost 3 years, right? And he has some comfortability being here because he actually won his only victory of his career right here. And I like the kid. I like his resilience. I think he's got a mindset of that you need to be successful in this league. It's just his body of work is so limited. And all he's doing is trying to create that magic that he had last week in that failed comeback attempt at home.
3rd down gamble.
That's tight.
And Kilgore
that is really tight.
Kind of fell forward there. Only needed 6 inches.
What foot did you say he needed? What kind of spot?
Well, in that quarter, he needed a left foot spot. This quarter needs a right foot spot.
Okay. Well, I think he might get that right foot spot here, but it is tight. A D-line of Ottawa has been.
Yeah, this is going to be close, Matt, where they're marking it right now.
Yep. Wow.
I think he's got it, but it's going to be really close.
We're right there on the 55. They would just back off. We might be able to see it. Could you just move out of the way, please? Yeah.
They've got him just across the 54-yard line.
I think that's a first down.
It is a first down.
Wow.
Referee Dave Foxcroft with the indication.
That's huge.
You can challenge a 3rd down spot if you like.
Well,
back to first down. Here's Gable on the carry. Flag comes down. And Gable tries to hop down to the 50.
It's going to be holding on big Travis Bond out there, and you can't hide when you're that big. 6'7", 356 pounds. Reminds me of the left tackle I used to have.
Edmonton, number 58. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
And Miles was 6'8", though. Went about 365.
So Bond called. As you mentioned, now 1st and 20 for Edmonton, back at the 46-yard line of the Eskimos.
Yeah, and they actually had Ottawa in a tough spot because the Red Blacks were not ready to on the snap of that football, but good effort up front. Drew the hold and sent Edmonton back 10.
Bob, watch yourself. Watch that, Bob.
4-man rush. Here it comes. Kilgore under pressure. Will pump fake throws. And the pass is complete to Collins. And a first down for Edmonton on the completion of Ricky Collins. And a pickup of 22 yards down to the Ottawa 41-yard line. A strike from Kilgore.
Yeah, and he's got all kinds of time to throw that strike, Gordon. That's because the big boys up front are working really hard to try to overcome that holding penalty and pick up their teammate Travis Bond. He steps up, double pumps, and finds Ricky sitting in a hole. And they pick up that big chunk of change right back and move the chains.
3 catches, 55 yards for Collins so far. First down from the Ottawa 41. And a busted play to the give to Jones, and he's dropped. Great defensive play there by J.R. Tavai for Ottawa. That'll push them all the way back to the 54-yard line. The loss is 13 yards.
Yeah, and J.R. Tavai's got a motor. I talked to him about that yesterday. I believe he's on your right side of your football screen. He squeezes it. He's got contained. Calvin McCarty is waiting for him, but he slips underneath Calvin McCarty and makes a great play.
So a busted play for Edmonton now, 2nd and 23. Again, a 4-man rush. Kilgore steps up, throws underneath for Gable, and Gable is cut down by DeAndre Ferris, well short of a first down.
Yeah, again, he's got all kinds of time here, but Ottawa knows where the sticks are, and Logan kind of gets happy feet. He steps up here, you can see him kind of moving around, and he really didn't have to go there, but because he did, he stepped up in the pocket, kind of moved to his right. There was Gable, and he decided to pull the trigger just because of that clock in his head went off, and it really wasn't forced to at that point. Ottawa will take that all day long.
So from the 48, Edmonton will elect a punt. Harris back at his 10-yard line. O'Neill booms this. Probably further than he wanted it to. And Harris will take a knee and give up 1. Good goaltending so far. It's a 3-1 lead.
Yeah. Love this guy, though, and his motor. That's why I wanted him in the chair yesterday when we sat down. And J.R. Tavai, USC, bringing the heat right here at TD Place.
After the single point for Edmonton, Ottawa begins at its own 35-yard line. 4-man rush, and Davis is buried. At the bottom of that pile, Matthew Betts, who did a big play last week against Hamilton.
Yes, he did.
Brings down Dominic Davis. And the loss.
Yeah,
looks like it's about 10.
If that was Betts, he gets credited for his second sack.
Made his CFL debut last week, the 3rd overall pick in the CFL draft.
Bazzi just a great push up underneath the pads of the left tackle and collapses the pocket right into his laps, and you get help from your teammates. Mike Moore and Matthew Betts, and 2nd and a long way.
Loss of 11, 2nd and 21. And Davis is under pressure again, sidesteps it, and one-hops that pass. Trying to find Nate Bahar, and the fans getting restless here in Ottawa. Haven't seen a home win since June the 20th.
got nothing for that, Gord. And this is 2nd and 21. They're rushing 4 again, a little twist up front. And it's just want to and desire to try to flush a quarterback, which they do, and then he's forced to throw over across his body, and he can't find his receiver.
Leone, booming punt. Christian Jones back at his 33-yard line. Beats the first wave, gets up to the 45. Go to the sidelines and Brent Wallace.
Well, guys, something Matt talked about earlier was that Logan Kilgore has this great demeanor about him in the huddle, and we asked him, you could tell getting a sense he's got a great sense of humor. So we asked him what he's like in the huddle, and he said Brett Favre, his favorite quarterback growing up. And so he watched video how Favre was on the sidelines and how he'd be joking in the huddle and how much he loved playing the game. So Kilgore said he's pretty much kind of the same type of quarterback. He said he doesn't want to change despite the fact he's been starting the last couple of games about his demeanor of the way he's acted lately leading up to that time. So it's the same guy in the huddle. We'll have to wait and see if we can see any jokes coming when it becomes a tight situation for the Eskimos, guys.
Down 3-1 here in the second quarter. Kilgore swings it out. And the pass is caught by Edmonton's Tavares Daniels, but a shoestring tackle there by Corey Tyndall limits the gain. Maybe a yard.
All kinds of great parts in this offense for the Eskimos. And I mean, you talk about Tavares Daniels, talk about Ricky Collins who's having a career year. You talk about Greg Ellingson, Devi Smith, Natea Jay is capable of making big plays and has.
They lead the league.
Gable. List goes on, Gord.
They lead the league in yards, first downs. A lot of that with Trevor Harris at the control.
And yet they got 1 point. 22 minutes into the ballgame.
Edmonton's 0-5 on second down conversion so far. That ball floats out, incomplete, make it 0-6, and the pass is out of the reach of Tavon Smith, who went to Iowa, which thumped Logan Kilgore's Middle Tennessee State today.
Yeah, that was ugly. That was a beat down.
So 3rd and 9 now for Edmonton, 0-6 on second down. Both these teams have been in holes a lot lately. Edmonton's been trailed by 20 points or more in its last 2 games. Ottawa has trailed by 20 plus in 3 consecutive.
Yeah, and I mean, they say stats for losers, and you know, there's some stats for some teams that have been losing a lot lately.
O'Neill, good bunt down to Harris at the 20-yard line. Flag comes down, and so does Harris. Out to the 25-yard line, a special teams tackle by Christoph Malumba Shaminga. 3-1, Ottawa leads here in the second quarter. You're watching the CFL on TSN from the nation's capital. Back here in Ottawa, regular season coverage of Canadian Tire Senators hockey gets underway on TSN October 10th. The Sens play host of the Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues. The action starts at 7:30 Eastern, 8:30 the Atlantic on TSN 5 in the Sens region and on TSN 1200. Just 4 points on the board so far. Ottawa starts at the 11-yard line.
Looks like a different quarterback. Jonathan Jennings back to him.
Comes back in as they switch back and forth, and the pass is caught by Caleb Hawley. And Hawley forced out of bounds at the 16-yard line, making the 17 for a gain of 6.
Trying to explain this and what it would be like. Okay, you're going to start on the mound for me today. I'm going to pull you after the first inning if this is allowed. And I'm going to throw another guy to. I'm going to throw you back in the 3rd inning. And it's just tough to get a feel. But I know they're platooning searching for answers, but I'm just not sure if this is the right one.
What baseball league did you play in where you could take pictures up and put them back in?
I said if you could.
Second down. Jennings looks over the top. A flag is down. The pass is incomplete. Up the sidelines for Dominic Rives. We'll see what the flag is about in the Edmonton secondary.
Jason Maggio, the 3.
Illegal contact. Edmonton, number 0. 10-yard penalty. First down, Ottawa.
On a number call for the contact, so the sticks will move for Ottawa.
Yeah, it's just on the right edge, right over here. You'll come into the screen, and you watch Don, and he just grabs right there. You can see him. It's impeding the progress of the receiver in a big way, although the ball's not coming there. That's why it's away from the ball. That's why it's categorized the way it is.
Here's Madu on the first down carry. Slides across the 30-yard line for a gain of 4. Ottawa is in the basement of most offensive categories in the CFL, last in points, offensive touchdowns. They have 10 fewer touchdowns than the next worst team in the league offensively.
Yeah, it's not good. And they average just over 17 points a game. And it's really not pretty to talk about. They're trying to find their answers today.
Early movement is jumping there was Edmonton's Nick Usher. Ottawa has gone 50 possessions now without scoring an offensive touchdown.
Offside. Edmonton, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Yeah, here's a look at it right here. And you're just down the bottom of the line right here. That's cheating all day long. You know what they say, you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Second and short. And Jennings gets the first down and more. Gets pushed down at the end of the play by Money Hunter. We saw Hunter do that earlier on a kick return play.
Yeah, he's a physical player, you know, just pushing the edge. Quite a few of those players in the league. Monchadrick, Money Hunter, is he's one of those guys.
Offside. Edmonton, number 41. 5-yard penalty. First down, Ottawa.
Maybe he's taking out his frustrations on the opponent there because he knew he was offsides.
So first down, Ottawa from its own 41-yard line. And then comes into the end of that play, which also could have been penalized.
I thought that's what you were talking about from the beginning, was Money doing that at the end, finishing it off because he was upset.
On first down, the draw play goes nowhere.
Oh, that's Armando Sewell saying, not today.
They almost handed the ball to him.
I'm the elder statesman. Watch it get low. This is just ugly. And it happens so quickly, too. He just flies up in here.
Just put his 60th career.
Fly him in there. He gets some help. Watch, both guys just won't. Get underneath his pads. He basically just destroys the left guard and says hello to most of the backfield before he can get any type of movement.
Just put his 60th sack of his career on the board. Jennings, little screen pass from Adu, and again that's sniffed out. Alex Bazzi apparently read the memo.
Yeah, Bazzi's been playing some fired up football, and he should, because he's trying to rekindle some of his own magic. And Bazzi, watching number 54, he's right here, standing up. Sees the screen, reads it. Nothing doing.
Leone has that kick bounce down to the 35-yard line. A flag comes down at the end of the play as the kick was fielded by Christian Jones.
Be everywhere on that field.
Alex Bazzi, Edmonton defense. Part of an afternoon where tackles are the story. 3-1 Ottawa leads, 5:14 to go in the first half.
Yeah, and Gord, to score 3-1, you've got 10 punts and 10 first downs combined for both offenses, and you've got Jonathan Jennings, you've got Caleb Hawley on the sidelines, along with Joe Powell, a newly appointed offensive coordinator, trying to figure things out. And Joe's a great resource to tap into. And this offense is going nowhere fast. And luckily for the Red Blacks, so is the Eskimos.
First down from the 43-yard line. Kilgore screens it out to Nate Adjei, and he pays the price for a couple of yards as the tackle is made by Anthony Chaffee.
Yeah, Nate Adjei is just destroyed in the boundary by Chaffee.
And they'll mark it as no gain.
Joe Powell, when he played, throwing Samoan, actually a coach of mine when I was in BC, and you got two young quarterbacks that are trying to rekindle their mojo. Joe Powell is a tremendous person to have there as a mentor, the guy to listen and help try to figure out, get through the tough times.
Four-man rush, and Kilgore is down. Once again, J.R. Tavai makes the stop. This time it's a sack, and Edmonton is 2 out and forced to punt.
Yeah, I just absolutely love this guy's motor. I think he's been having a heck of a season, an all-star season for a defense that's really been on the football field a lot. And he's standing up in a technique going up against Matt Donald, bounces off of him, and then Colin Kelly can't redirect. He finds the quarterback falling to his lap, and he says, "Thank you very much, I'll take that one."
Loss is 11 on the play.
That's I believe his 5th sack on the season. Another tackle for loss, living on that side of the football.
O'Neal, good punt. Harris back to the 25-yard line. Another big special teams tackle. And once again, it's Alex Bazzi. He's been all over the field so far this afternoon.
Whatever he had for pregame, I would put an asterisk next to that, and I'll be doing that again next week. He's having a whale of a first half. He's been an impact player for sure.
52-yard punt, a return of 2 on the play.
Sometimes it's just a matter of taking your man and just jamming him into the ball carrier. And everybody pays the price. Because Alex Bazzi's in some kind of some kind of mood.
First down Ottawa from its 36-yard line. Madu on the first down carry. And a good gain, gets about 8 out to the 44-yard line. Ottawa is last in the league in average yards on first down. That's a big part of the 2-and-out stat where they lead the league in that.
Yeah, and this is a nice 1st and 10 run. Pick up 7. Moses Madu averages 4.3 yards per carry. He's been in the league for 5 years, comes out of Oklahoma. He's an American running back, and you know, I just don't think he's used often enough in this offense.
Mark him down after a gain of 7. 2nd and 3. Back to the ground, and that is buried. And that time it was Fonte Diggs on the tackle for Edmonton. And that's going to bring up 3rd down again for Ottawa.
I think Diggs and Bazzi were eating together before the ball game, because whatever they eat is working. Living in the backfield.
Eating up here was Madu. It remains 3-1 Ottawa. We've hit the 3-minute warning.
3 minutes to halftime, and I imagine the punters are getting pretty tired by now. We're going to talk about a defensive dominant game and what these two offenses have been doing to hurt themselves. We're also talking about Saskatchewan coming up against Toronto. Let's go back to Gord and Matt.
And the 12th punt of this first half.
Break that down, guys, in the studio. 12 of them.
Richie Leone and Hugh O'Neal have been the busiest men here in the first half. Here's Leone to kick it from just outside his 30. A low driving kick to Christian Jones at the 25-yard line, and Jones steps out of bounds at the 34. Right now, the midfield stripe looks like a wall to these two offenses.
Just got nothing, Gord.
The Eskimos will struggle. Well, you've been on teams that didn't often struggle, but sometimes struggled.
What?
What do you do in this situation? Like when it's just not going, what do you do?
I asked both these quarterbacks, encouraged them to play fast and free yesterday. You got to cut it loose sometimes. You got to put pressure on defense, get off their heels, push it downfield.
5-man rush. Kilgore steps up and throws, and the pass is caught to Greg Ellingson.
That's always a good idea, too. Throw it to number 82.
His first catch back at his old hometown where he spent 4 years, and Ellingson is out to the 51-yard line for an Edmonton first down.
Yeah, and he's just going to run a curl route here, and he gets past the depth of the linebacker. Chaffee sits in that hole. Ball's located nicely and on time, and you move the chains.
On first down, Kilgore the other side. And this is Christian Jones across midfield to the Ottawa 53-yard line.
Yeah, you see them, a concentrated effort to try to get the ball into Christian Jones' hands, and I like that because he's a playmaker, and we've seen him on an end around that got stymied by J.R. Tavai. We've seen several types of these plays, little moving screens with him coming back on the inside, just trying to create something positive, and they got 6 on that play.
Here comes the rush. Kilgore throws, and Mattea Jay with the catch. And that's their first second down conversion of the football game. Edmonton now 1 for 8 on second down.
Yeah, and I like what they're doing here. They're going at the line of scrimmage, creating a different tempo and rhythm and timing for the defense to contend with, and trying to get some established offensively to dictate this.
First down from the Ottawa 46-yard line. Draw play. And Gable just pushes the pile ahead for a while. Gets maybe 4 on the play. Not much wind. What there is into Edmonton's face here in the second quarter. So they need probably a couple of first downs before they think about trying a field goal here. Marking the gain of 3 down to the 43-yard line. Noel Thorpe, the defensive coordinator, sends in the signal. Second and long for Edmonton. Kilgore swings, it's tipped and almost intercepted. And able to squeeze it was Randall Evans. It'll bring up third down for Edmonton.
Yeah, just late on this throw, and if you're Logan Kilgore, I don't think you were set on that play from the beginning. You're going to watch, I believe the play is going to come in right here, and he's late in this window, and he's got to stick it in there now, and he's too late. Out of the receivers in his break, linebacker's gotten depth, and he got a hand on it. And you know, I had mentioned that offense of Edmonton's was going hurry up at the line of scrimmage, and they actually let the Red Blacks get their defenders out there and get in the right position before they snap the football. I don't think Logan Kilgore was ever settled on that play call.
A last-minute change for Edmonton. The Eskimos will try a field goal. Sean White comes on from the 50-yard line, just outside it. This would be his longest of the year. His previous long is 48.
Yeah, and he just made a 48-yarder going the other way. So with a little bit of a breeze at his back here, this is going to be right about the end of his field goal range.
White's made 16 in a row, the longest current streak in the league. There's an issue with
all kinds
the
of
right
substitution
personnel.
Problems.
Late coming in is George Uko for Ottawa.
Looked a little bit like junior high school right there.
So White from the 50. Puts it up. And good.
He could have made that from 60.
A low line drive, and White's got his longest field goal of the year, his 17th in a row, and Edmonton takes the lead 4-3 with 1:15 to go.
Well, I just love his style. If he's kicking it from 37, he's just kicking it 38, 39, and here he's kicking it from 50, and he pounded that thing. Could have made it from about 60. Sean White showing off. We got some great kickers in this league. Boy, we're using them. They're so important. He's loving it, too. Congratulations all around. A shout out to Ryan King, too, longtime snapper from St. Mary's, getting it done.
That was the first time in this football game, Matt, that an Edmonton drive didn't end in a punt. Ottawa takes over
nothing.
At the 35-yard line. Jennings back in, and he's buried. Got away from the first wave, and then the second wave, Mike Moore just swallowed him up.
I don't know which wave is bigger. Moore by himself or the two big boys to flush him. Boy, they're just coming from all over the place.
Edmonton.
On the edge, force him up, and then whoop.
So Edmonton calls timeout here, Matt. The clock stops at 1:10, so they're going to stop here on second and long. A chance to get some more points here.
Wow. Babsy again disrupting play. Mike Moore coming in. Outstanding job from the player, fourth-year player from Virginia. Loving it, man. Big boys just feasting today.
Second down, it's a four-man rush, and Jennings is down again. Back down to the 15-yard line, and once again, it's Mike Moore who comes in.
Just eating. I think they had a big old pregame dinner together. These guys are just dominant right now.
Ottawa loses 25 yards on 2 plays.
Yeah, watch the push up front from all 4. Just 4. That's just desire and want to. Breaking it down. That's Moore getting there. That's Vickers getting there. Betts was coming in.
5 of Ottawa's last 6 plays have gone for a loss, and now Leone will punt from his 5-yard line.
What number is this, Johnny Colbert? Can't keep up with these punts. Number 13.
Leone pounds this thing.
He did. He's just getting warmed up.
Jones back to the 35-yard line. And does a good job to get across the 50 to the 51-yard line.
Plenty of time here, Gord.
Randall Evans makes the stop, a 57-yard punt, but Edmonton with 33 seconds to work with, and the ball is its own 52-yard line.
Plenty of time here to put some points on the board, and Logan Kilgore manage the clock properly, make a couple completions.
Y'all boys in Edmonton nasty, man.
Put some more points on the board before halftime.
4-3 Edmonton leads, 33 seconds to go in the first half. Strike there as Kilgore sticks that in.
Yeah, I talked about the timing, Jordan, that he didn't have in the previous series, and watch this route coming from left to right, coming right in here, and watch the window. Tight window, get rid of it, throw him open. Woo, that is tight.
So Ellingson
nice throw
to the 40, and Edmonton in field position for a field goal, 18-yard gain. Here comes the blitz. Kilgore with time, looks over the top, and the pass for Ellingson is incomplete. Had it for a moment, but couldn't quite squeeze it. That'll bring up 3rd down, and likely another field goal try for Sean White.
A wheel route here by the Eskimos. As Ellie starts on the inside, he runs and out, tries to get the defender in the trail, never really does, and now he's got to make a circus catch, a little banging down the field, and he never really had his mitts on that ball.
Correction, 2nd down for Edmonton from the 40. Kilgore flushed. Now in front of the sideline, incomplete, and now it'll be 3rd down for the Eskimos.
Yeah, this will be a chip shot for Sean White. He just pounded a 50-yarder. This will be for 47. Watch how he just breaks out a different club. He just pulls a different club out of the bag and knows what he needs and just smooth strokes it. I love his swing, and it is unique because not all the kickers do that in the Canadian Football League. Most of them have a similar stroke and pound it, and this guy just gives you what he needs, and right now he needs 48 because it's a 47-yard attempt.
Running a 17 attempt streak. Needed 47, got 48.
That's good. That's what he does, man. It's a beautiful thing to watch. It's like being, having a great short game and being able to control your different wedges, whether it's 56, 58, or 60 degree. And this kid, he's got it.
Good use of the timeout by Edmonton to stop the clock earlier. The Eskimos get 3 more, lead by 4, 7-3 after 30 minutes. Here's Rod Smith.
Thank you, Gordon, as we welcome you to Ram at the Half. Brought to you, as always, with the all-new Ram 1500, Motor Trend's 2019 Truck of the Year, another winning season for Ram. So at the half, 1/6 of the way through the day, if you will, because we got a triple header, a lot of football to watch. Welcome to the CFL on TSN studio on this Super Saturday, along with Henry Burris, Davis Sanchez, and Milt Stegall. Last time these two teams met 7 weeks ago, the big weapon for Edmonton offensively was C.J. Gable, 116 on the ground, Chaz. Ottawa's defense has done a great job against him in this game.
And it can't be easy in a day like this. It's kind of dreary out there and looks cold, and they've come out and been physical, this Ottawa defense. They've been on the field a lot because of lack of success offensively, but you look at the box, sir, I started to count. There was too many guys in the box to count. I think maybe Logan Kilgore want to check to a pass there, Hank. What do you think?
Oh, I think 100%. You got one-on-one on the outside, take advantage of it.
Peter. But this defense for Ottawa, they're flying around. It's not, we joke around, but it's not easy to play in these conditions on the field all game long. And the run defense is strictly about will and want to, and they are getting it done.
And the point you made, they've been on the field so much
check.
offensively.
check.
My hair okay?
No, I'm just checking the pass.
Offensively, Ottawa has done nothing. You know, Edmonton has played some great defense, but there is a player, J.R. Tavai, I want to talk about. If you look at this play, this is a misdirection play. Most defense ends are crashing hard. Well, he reads Calvin McCarty is coming at him. He comes up and make a great play on the running back, but that's not just a great play because it's a great play. It took some points off the board. It took them out of field goal range. So that's something that they can feed off of maybe. Defense going to have to come out and make some plays because offensively, this rotating of quarterbacks is not working for the Red Blacks. Stick with one guy and just go with it. Defense is playing well, but offensively.
Who do you stick with?
I don't know.
I don't know right now. Either do they.
Flip a coin.
Yeah, that was 50 yards of total offense right now for Ottawa's, as far as for Ottawa. And we talked about they're going to have to score some points, move the ball to get something going. I mean, this is called the good, the bad, the ugly of the first half of these guys. I mean, Dominic Davis here is a levels play. Throws a beautiful pass, sticks it between two defensive backs. However, from there, guys, it starts to go downhill because now Mikey Moore and that defensive line, Mikey Moore, former Red Black, it's his homecoming also. They have 4 sacks up front. Doesn't matter, run, rain, sleet, snow, air, ground. They are tackling it right now. But Edmonton over the last 3 games have 4 sacks combined. First half, 4 sacks led by Mikey Moore. So, sorry, guys, this defensive line looks like they're starting to take over.
Well, I do have, the most important stat of the day, and more yardage than I thought. 330 yards to 263. That would be 330 punting yards for Richie Leone compared to Hugh O'Neill. J.R. Tavai has a big say in this, too, why the defense is doing so well. 3 tackles and a sack, a 7-3 ball game at the half. Back with more after this in the CFL and TSN. Later tonight, part 3 of the tripleheader in Vancouver, the BC Lions and Montreal Alouettes. Lions coming off 2 wins over the Red Blacks, desperately needing to win. And Vernon Adams not playing for Montreal, suspended. Before that, though, Saskatchewan Roughriders take on the Argos in Toronto. That's the next game in this tripleheader with James Franklin back as the starting quarterback for the Argos. He spoke with Matthew Shinetti.
James, first start since July. How do you approach this game against the Riders?
Trying to, like every other game. I want to go out and execute, throw some touchdowns, and hopefully win a ball game.
Yeah, but to that point, we've been discussing all week your approach and really embracing who you are, not trying to be a quarterback for someone else. How has that approach benefited you over the last couple of weeks getting ready for the start?
I think it's helped out a lot, just not making things a big deal. It's a lot easier when you're the backup to going into the game. It's like, okay, I'm probably not going to play, so you're a little bit more relaxed and chill. So I've always tried to have that approach going into it, so that way you just don't put pressure on yourselves in big situations. And going to this game, trying to do the same thing. Doing what I've been doing the last, seems like 10 months, I guess, really like 3 or 4 months. Just coming out and being relaxed in the game, talking, not trying to get inside my head or overthink things. Just go out and play some football, react, and like I said, hopefully throw a few touchdowns.
I imagine that smile is going to be pretty big when you get in the huddle for the first time.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it'll be pretty big, especially depending on how the guys treat me in there.
Thanks for this.
Yes, sir.
Chezzy just loves that smile of James Franklin.
I just want to throw a touchdown and be with the guys, win a game 2-10. It's so fun.
Oh, Chez. Hopefully a little hard on him, aren't you? Hopefully.
He didn't have that dog in him, Chez? He didn't have the dog in him?
I remember we had that chat.
This isn't live, is it? Because I'm about sick of it.
Okay.
Just wet that smile.
Well, you know what? Yeah, you're right. With their record just about out of it. Saskatchewan, though, big opportunity for the Rough Riders.
Huge opportunities. And I for some reason, I feel they're the black horse. They're the dark horse of the playoff, like in this late season run right now. They win this game, guys. They're tied with Calgary for first place. And the last time they played against Toronto, Fajardo put up 430 yards, and both Shaq Evans and Kyron Moore went off on these two. Had both went over 100 yards in receiving, guys. Big opportunity knocking in Riderville right now.
And it was all WePo. Last time they played Montreal 2 weeks ago before the bye, it was all WePo.
Great chance to not only put themselves in position for a playoff spot, but possibly to win the West. So it's a big game for them.
Okay, so that one is coming up, and we're getting set for that. But at the half, it is Ottawa trailing Edmonton 7-3. Red Blacks.
Smiling, Rod.
Can't imagine any smile. We're smiling up here. They're not smiling in there.
Rod, don't hope. Believe.
We have such nice smiles. Back in the game, the new album from Chad Brownlee. Listen now on Apple Music. Let's get back in the game and look at these halftime stats, Bill.
Yeah, the Red Blacks haven't played well. They're only down 7-3, but the quarterback played. They're combined 8 for 11 for 56 yards passing. Is that how y'all do it in Ottawa, Henry?
No, come on, Bill. You know better than that. Here's one of those QBs, Logan Kilgore with Brent Wallace.
It's a bit of a struggle for both offenses here in the first half. You have back-to-back field goals. Do you feel like you're getting momentum now going into the half?
Yeah, we got to control what we can control and just continue to execute the plays. We try to establish a little bit of run early. Hopefully we come back to that a little bit, but I'm excited over where we're at. We get the ball to start the second half, and I want to go get some points out of it.
Have they given you any different looks to make life a little more difficult, or are you seeing some things here that you can start to exploit in the half?
Every game they're going to give you some wrinkles. They've done a good job switching it up, and it's ultimately up to us to control what we can control and go execute.
Thanks. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Is that how y'all do it in Ottawa? Is that what you just said? The former star quarterback of the Ottawa REDBLACKS? Offense is struggling a little bit today. 3 on the board, down 7-3. We get the second half kickoff coming up. And part 1 of the triple header on TSN. Halftime show brought to you by the new Ram Heavy Duty. The most capable heavy duty pickup ever. Always ready for the second half. Okay, Vivian Ellis, we're only halfway through in the Save on Foods $1 million touchdown to win. You need a kickoff return for TD. You get a $10,000 home theater package. If it happens a second time, you can also get $1 million. Again, I say good luck. Getting ready for the second half as we go back to Gord and Matt in Ottawa.
Welcome back to the nation's capital. 7-3 Edmonton leads after the opening 30 minutes. Here is Brent Wallace with Ottawa head coach Rick Campbell.
Rick, you pretty much split the quarterbacking duties half. What is your feeling right now as you go into the second half?
We're going to keep going. We're going to try to grind this out. We're doing some stuff that will allow us to be in games and win games, which is taking care of the football and keeping the penalties down. Obviously, we need to stay out of that second and extra long stuff. We don't want to make it a pass protection competition, but we're going to keep going and see if we can find a way to get it done.
What was your message in the room here at half?
To not get frustrated, to keep working. We're doing a lot of good things, not exactly what we want, but we're doing a lot of good things, and if we keep doing those things, and then the defense can make a big play or special teams, and then if our offense can hit an explosion or something and get the momentum, then it'll be good news for the REDBLACKS, but we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay.
On the left, Dominic Davis. On the right, Jonathan Jennings. They've switched back and forth so far this afternoon. Edmonton won the toss and deferred its choice in the second half, so the Eskimos will get the football to start the second half, up 7-3 in a game in which Edmonton can all but bury Ottawa's playoff chances.
Yeah, I can see head coach Rick Campbell's comments being true and not wanting to get into a pass protection competition because they're sorely losing that one right now.
Christian Jones from the 15-yard line. And Jones finds a seam, gets out across the 40, up to the 44-yard line, a 28-yard return, and Edmonton has good field position to start the second half.
Yeah, that's outstanding field position, and that's everything right now. Gord, you alluded to that in the first half and how that's going to play a big factor in the second half when you got a low-scoring game like this.
Edmonton starts first down at its own 44-yard line behind Logan Kilgore. The 29-year-old stands back and throws short to Ellingson. And Greg Ellingson goes out of bounds at the 49-yard line for a gain of 5.
A little play action, boot to your right. You got a little hammer route, go on the outside, a little flattening out. And number 2 and 3 receiver, and halfback falls out underneath the out route, so you got to dump it down to Ellingson. Why not? Get half and go to work on second and out.
Edmonton won first down conversion in that first half, and Kilgore sidesteps the rush and dives ahead and gets one. Tripped up by J.R. Tavai, but not before. A gain of 7 moves Edmonton into Ottawa territory.
Yeah, and it's Corey Tyndall just flying, coming free from the edge, and it is abort. You're going to watch him right here like this, and it's Logan Kilgore recognizes it late. He got a duck, make something happen, and he does.
And now C.J. Gable bounces outside. He's got a first down and more. Gable pulls his way inside the 35 down to the 33-yard line. A pickup of 19 yards for C.J. Gable, number 2 in the CFL in rushing, entering this week.
That really wasn't touched until he hit about 10, 11 yards down the football field and had to make somebody miss. He did that, and then he bull rushed for a couple, 3 or 4 more. And well, this is starting well for the Edmonton Eskimos offense. Good field position on a nice return from Christian Jones, and offense is taking over from there. Look, it happened last week with Logan Kilgore. Caught fire and put up 24 quick points, got back in that ball game.
4-man rush. Kilgore swings it underneath, and the pass is caught by Tavares Daniels. And Daniels down to the 25-yard line is a gain of 8.
I mean, you got tons of weapons out there. Utilize them. Look to your left. Suck the defense in. A little slip out of that to outside. Boris corrals that after a bit. Picks up 8.5, 9 yards.
Calvin McCarty checks in on 2nd and 2. The give goes to Gable. The first down and more. Inside the 20, down to the 19-yard line. Calvin McCarty, the 13-year veteran out of Western Washington, playing in his 199th game this afternoon, according to CFL statistician Steve Daniel. So next week in Hamilton, it plays 200th. Edmonton will stay here in the East, go to Hamilton tonight. Spend the week there, play the Ticats on Thursday.
That'll be a good ball game.
First down carry for Gable. And Gable, who's become the feature part of this drive, fights his way inside the 10, a first down as he falls down to the 8-yard line.
Yeah, that's a great drive. And big boys up front for the Eskimos are starting to eat a little bit here and impose their will. And C.J. Gable's having a good start to the second half. Great second effort. Well, speaking of Hamilton Tiger Cats next week, Edmonton's staying there and playing those guys. Hamilton's on fire, really flexing their muscles. Manhandled Winnipeg last night.
Now Gable bounces outside. Gable fights his way down to the 2-yard line. Tackled there by Kevin Brown.
Again, just ground and pound, spreading it out. Big boys up front. Colin Kelly just sealing the edge right there. CJ feels it. Ellie's working in the end zone there along with Tavares Daniels. Blocks downfield, and C.J. Gable's eating beginning of the second half.
2nd and goal from the 2. Gable again and fights his way down maybe to the 1-yard line. He got stacked up there.
What do you do, Gordon? What do you do?
Go for it.
Yeah.
You got to go for it, don't you?
I like it.
3rd and goal from the 1. Edmonton had 3 turnovers on downs last week against Hamilton. They marked this right at the 1.
I'm not sure I want Ellie being the lead blocker on that play, but just get the big boys moving straight up front and root out that Ottawa REDBLACKS defensive line. See what Logan's got.
Kilgore dives ahead. Did he get there? No indication from the official yet. And
there
now a touchdown signal.
Wow.
So the 3rd down gamble pays off. And the Eskimos get the first touchdown of the game.
Wow. Took forever to see whether or not that ball crossed the line. There's the push and the wedge. Somewhere up in there is Middle Tennessee State product Logan Kilgore finding the end zone. It just gets lost in the wash. There he is on the bottom. He's clearly in. Just took a while for the officials to dig him out. That's an impressive drive to start the second half.
Yeah, the opening drive of this second half sees them go in. And C.J. Gable a big part of it. 5 carries for 45 yards on that drive.
C.J. ate that drive.
Hardly anyone going for 2 anymore. Hamilton, the only team last week to try a 2-point convert. And Sean White puts that up and through, and the Eskimos.
This one's blown wide open, Gord.
A 10-play, 66-yard scoring drive. And the Edmonton Eskimos have grabbed a 13-3 lead here in the second half. The first of 3. Whoop on the CFL on TSN. Edmonton gets the football to start the second half and drives it down Ottawa's throat. A 10-play, 66-yard drive, Matt.
Yeah, it's impressive, and that's always a good sign when you got both quarterbacks looking over your head coach, who's basically the offensive coordinator for your team, going over a good touchdown drive. Something you've been looking for. And with your #1 guy on the sidelines and just put on the 6th game and got a little mojo going like they did last week in the second half against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, scoring 24 points late to tie that ball game.
Greg Morris from the 10-yard line. Flag comes down. Morris fights it up to the 40-yard line. Finally stopped there by Don Anumba. And let's take it back to the scoring drive for Edmonton, Matt.
Yeah, and you heard Logan Kilgore talk to our Brent Wallace on the sidelines at the halftime, and he said he'd like to get C.J. Gable more involved. Well, he gets things going with his own legs, but C.J. Gable, 5 carries, 45 yards on that 10-play drive, and big factor in moving the chains, and then big boys doing what they do and eating down the goal line, rooting it out, and Logan Kilgore finds the end zone. Makes it a 14-3 ball game. That's exactly what the Eskimos needed.
Illegal block call against Ottawa, so the football moved back inside their 10-yard line, half the distance back. So it's first down Ottawa from its 9-yard line, and the field position issue continues. No touchdowns for Ottawa in its last 52 offensive possessions. It's been 2.5 games without an offensive touchdown for this Ottawa team. Davis back in.
Got the edge.
Dominic Davis throws, and the pass is
just
incomplete.
Fantastic play.
Great defensive play there. Jordan Hoover gets up and knocks that away. Brings up second down.
Yeah, that's a tough play, too, for him. It's a free safety coming over there and had to come a long way to make that play and break up. You got Dominic Davis getting the edge and putting the ball out there.
Caleb Hawley was the intended target.
Yeah, he was. Hoover, really nice play. Not interfering with Caleb Hawley and getting his right arm across there, saying, not on my watch.
Here comes the rush. Davis throws. This pass is caught in the coverage. Dominic Rhymes with it. And Rhymes just takes that one away. And a big first down for Ottawa out to the 37-yard line. The pickup is 28 yards.
Yeah, Dominic Rhymes strong arms this one in there. Otherwise, if that's floated, that's going the other way. But he puts it in there, nicely done. And Dominic Rhymes takes it down 11 points, mysteriously runs out of bounds. Don't understand that. That's just
Harris takes that pass to Dominic Davis and gets out to the 44-yard line. Marked that as a gain of 7 yards.
Yeah, I like it. Both quarterbacks, Logan Kilgore and now Dominic Davis responding with a couple of nice throws, confident throws. See the ball coming out cleanly and crisply and having a little momentum.
Second down, Davis throws. That pass is tipped and almost intercepted. Monty Hunter got his hand on it. And then Anthony Orange couldn't squeeze it. Brings up 3rd down and 3 for Ottawa.
Yeah, and it's just this looks like just watch these both routes get underneath each other and brings too many defenders in this area. And it's cloudy, and Dominic really doesn't have a look. They're just on top of each other. One receiver thinks he's getting it, puts his hand up, and doesn't go where it's intended to, and almost an interception the other way.
Good kick by Leone. And that's taken by Jones, who gets not much. A 48-yard punt, a return of 6.
This was almost going the other way, Gord. Just confusion with the receivers and the route running, and
back here in Ottawa, 2 old friends meeting here this afternoon. Here's Brent Wallace with more.
Absolutely, Gord. For 4 years here in the nation's capital, Greg Ellenson and Brad Snopley were simply known as the Buds. They were inseparable off the field and presented opponents with a dynamic 1-2 punch on it. Now, this is Greg Ellenson's first game back here in Ottawa since signing with Edmonton in the offseason. Now, they said they wouldn't do too much chirping to each other here as they played each other as they walked by in case, but they did say maybe occasionally they would look at each other and give a wink or perhaps a little bit of a trash talking. But really, one thing about the pair, they pushed each other as teammates without ever saying anything. Ellenson said you would watch Brad make a big catch and you would think you have to go and do the same. No surprise then, both of them were 1,000-yard receivers in each of their 4 years here together. Guys?
First down, Edmonton from its 22-yard line.
Yeah, and speaking of Greg Ellenson, he's got one right there, picking up another first down for Edmonton. That's his 4th catch for about 50 yards. And on the other side, you've got Brad Snopley, who's got 0 targets in this ball game, and you look at what he's done for this franchise since coming here and it's just been an incredible receiver, particularly on second down situations and yards after the catch. Set a Canadian record last year with 116 catches, over 1,300 yards.
Nothing his way today.
Nothing. It's just, and you got an offense that's struggling. Come on, it's not that hard. It's not rocket science. Let's go.
They mark Ellingson just short of a first down. Kilgore will dive ahead and move the sticks. Now, as a quarterback, Matt, are you aware at this point in the football game that you haven't thrown the football someone's way? You know?
Well, I don't know. I haven't been out there enough. You know, I've been substituted for every other series. Yeah, and it just, I think those quarterbacks right now are not thinking about that because they're not conceptualizing the entire game. I think they're just focused on what they're doing in that down and distance situation, because they're just not comfortable and are able to get comfortable out there because of the rotation.
High snap, Gable. Got bounced the first time, then buried the second, and lose 3 on that play.
And that just was not happening for the Edmonton offense as the Red Blacks just bowed their necks on that play and just stymied the point of attack, like Latanzio there forcing the other way. JR coming in, Chaffee rooting it back inside, and then here comes the posse, and just about everybody from the Red Blacks says hello to CJ Gable.
Mark has a loss of 3 on the play, 2nd and 13 for the Eskimos from their 31-yard line. Again, a 4-man rush. Kilgore has to move now. And finally gets dragged down. Tavai was there, along with Michael Wakefield, and the loss is 1.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, you got a quarterback running around. You want your receivers to work with you, and sometimes you just don't get that cooperation or have the opportunity to keep your eyes downfield and fixated on what you need to be. And you know, and then the pressure, the defense, give them credit. They get to you, and you got to eat it. Live to play another one.
So a chance here for Ottawa to get some field position. Their average drive start today so far, their own 25-yard line. Neal, good high kick. Harris at the 35. Flag comes down. And Harris beats the first wave and gets out close to midfield. A 45-yard punt, a return of 19. Ottawa down by 11. The defense is holding. Can the offense make something happen on the CFL on TSN? 10th offensive possession for Ottawa, and the drives have been split right down the middle. Jennings is at 5. This will be Dominic Davis's 5th possession.
Okay.
You've done a very good job, Matt,
again
of masking your disdain for alternating quarterbacks.
Well, I'm trying. At least they're being fair. You get 5, and I get 5.
First down from the 54-yard line. Moses will do on the first down. Carrying it down to the 51-yard line. The furthest Ottawa has been in the Edmonton territory, the Eskimo 35-yard line.
Yeah. Edmonton's tightening it up there, too. You got Jordan Hoover coming out from the free safety position again. It's a nice job of that third-year player making an open field tackle. Stopping Moses Madu. Looked like he was going to gallop a little bit further. Hoover said, yeah, not on my watch. Not today, not happening.
He was 5 at 2nd and 5. Davis stands in and throws, and the pass is incomplete over the head of Caleb Hawley. 3rd down, Ottawa. And that is now 54 consecutive possessions without a touchdown for the Ottawa offense. Richie Leone's going to have a nice long nap tonight. The Ottawa punter's getting a workout.
Yeah, this is a 16th total punt in this ball game. Both teams combined. I'm telling you, through these cover units, that's playing a factor in how you're running down the football field. Guaranteed it is.
Low driving punt. Jones got to grab like a pass. Steps out of bounds at the 10-yard line. So Leone gets the job done. Hemming Edmonton in, but the Eskimos have the lead by 11. It's the third quarter on the CFL, the first of 3 today on the CFL and TSN. Logan Kilgore on the Edmonton offense will start first down at their own 10-yard line. There has not yet been a turnover in this game. Ottawa needs some sudden change here.
Yeah, they did. This is a football team that their turnovers have been killing them. In fact, more people score more points off the Ottawa REDBLACKS turnovers than any other team in the league.
A lot more.
Yeah, 124 points, I think, off turnovers this year.
Here's the Eskimos on first down. Kilgore's got all day, throws up the sidelines, has a man, but it's incomplete over the head of Daniels. Brings up second down.
Over the head and out of bounds. I like it. It's Chris Randall, 8th-year player from Utah State. Tight coverage, but beat over the top. You get it on him, you put it on him, you got a big explosion play, getting you out of deep in your own end. And Logan had plenty of time, set his feet, let it fly. He just threw that one a little wide and too far.
Second and 10. Throws incomplete for Ellingson. Got one hand on that pass. It'll be third down. Edmonton will have to punt.
Yeah, talking to Jason Moss about Logan Kilgore's arm, he says he's one of those guys that when he may not have the strongest arm, but when he sees an opening, he's going to let it fly, and he does there. It's a little errant, and Nelly can't bring it in. Plus, you got J.R. Tavai honing in on it. That'll make that happen more times than not.
Harris there as well. So Harris now stands in midfield. We'll see if Edmonton considers giving up 2 here. Ottawa's not threatened offensively, so
yeah, great field position.
Neal will kick it. Good punt, Harris from his own 50. Cross midfield down to the Ottawa 47-yard line, a 49-yard punt. A return of 11. And Ottawa's got good field position. Sunday on CTV, Nathan Fillion is back to take down crime, get into the season premiere of The Rookie, Sunday at 10/8 Mountain, only on CTV, then stream anytime.
It's Christophe Malumba-Shimanga on that tackle.
So here's your chance for Ottawa. A first down at the Edmonton 47-yard line, down by 11, 4 to go in the third quarter rather. And Dominic Davis is back in at quarterback for his 6th series.
I like this 4-1 set.
Look out. That's a bust. And Davis just has to throw that away.
That didn't go well.
31 plays for Ottawa in this game for a total of 90 yards.
Okay. I'm just going to take a wild guess that that's not good, Gordon.
Well, if you need 10, and you're averaging 3 per play.
Again, 4-1 set, an extra tight end. Now they bump out, get to the field, trying to get the edge.
Davis throws. Brad Sinopoli, his first catch of the game. He'll be short of an Ottawa first down, just shy of the 40-yard line. It's third and a long 2.
Yeah, and you watch Sinopoli, you're going to just run a banger out, basically. And then again, it's Hoover who's having himself a whale of a football game and a sure tackle in open field, forcing a Lewis Ward 48-yard field goal. Good to see Brad is playing today.
Ward grounds Fires that wide right. Jones took one back 100 yards last week. There he goes again, but he got wrapped up by Kevin Brown, but he gets up to the 20-yard line, and Ottawa comes away with nothing.
Yeah, and that's, you know, since he broke his streak at 69, he's been a little erratic. He just pushes that a little right. And I like the effort there by Christian Jones trying to return it out on a coverage unit that you know has got to be a little tired. Gets it out to the 20.
And Ottawa simply can't score. Beaten 40-7 last week.
Yeah, how much is that the Edmonton defense or just inept offense?
Well, to be fair, Matt, 56% of Ottawa's offense from last year left in the offseason.
Yeah, and they felt like they were comfortable with it. That's what they were saying going into the season. We felt comfortable with the guys that we did keep. And I think Rick Campbell's got to say those type of things. And I also believe that they weren't right on a lot of those guys.
Second and
tough
5.
to lose to Vincent Rogers, Greg Ellenson.
Here's Gable, first down across the 30 up to the 33-yard line. And C.J. Gable grinding it out here.
Wait a minute, I'm not done. William Powell.
Yeah.
And it's tough to lose those guys.
Well, you lose your quarterback, 3 of your top receivers, your running back.
And yeah, so they've been struggling to find their identity on that side of the football. But I think Edmonton's defense has been up to the task as well.
Here's Gable again. And Gable across the 40, the 41-yard line, a gain of 6. Ottawa's defense allows the most plays in the Canadian Football League, and that's part and parcel, Matt, of the 2 and outs, right? That's related to the offense going 2 and out a lot.
Sure it is. And like I said, Gordon, in that game, I believe it was August 9th, 16-12. It's 14-3 here, playing out very similar. Ottawa lost that time of possession badly, and you got to credit this defense for being out there as long as they have and playing like this. They just continue to refuse to give up, and they rally the football like that, Gordon.
Chiaffi in on the stop for Ottawa, brings up 3rd down for Edmonton.
We're gritty. I'm telling you, it's a gritty unit, and you may walk out of here with a victory. You're going to walk in, you're going to limp out. And it's just, these guys refuse to give up. They got a lot of fight. And they need it because they've been on the football field for a long time.
All Thorpe encouraging his group. And Hugh O'Neill back on to punt. R.J. Harris stands back.
Talked to some of the defensive coaches from Ottawa yesterday, and really frank with me in their comments. And, you know, they just need some help and a few more pieces to the puzzle, they feel. And
O'Neill just scuffs that down to the 15-yard line.
Nice pickup.
And a good play by O'Neill. Is some high contact at the end of that play by Edmonton's James Tuck. So O'Neill just kind of squibbed one down there. But at the end of the play, the flag comes down on the hit by Tuck.
Tuck is one of those edge players that just constantly living on the edge. Don Matthews, may he rest in peace, he had a great quote, loved it. He says, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Justin Tuck lives right there when he plays football. Love to have those guys on your football team. He's all over the place. That's what he does. That's his specialty, is running down there and wreaking havoc and blowing somebody up. And I like what he brings to the table. Sometimes it goes against you, but he's hustling.
So that's the contact of the face mask with the helmet.
I don't know. I mean, the guy's standing up.
Spearing, Edmonton, number 49. 15-yard penalty. It'll be first down Ottawa. We'll have one more play in the 3rd quarter.
I didn't see that.
Tuck call for the spear, which is by definition the top of your helmet making contact.
I think he tripped right before contact, which lowered his head, but that's just me being a football player and being there before.
First down Ottawa now from its 32-yard line. Davis back in. Throws quickly. The pass is caught by R.J. Harris. And Harris was out of bounds at the 40-yard line. A gain of 8 will bring up 2nd down and 2, and the third quarter has come to an end. Edmonton has the lead 14-3 after 3 quarters on the CFL on TSN.
What's going on?
It's never dull here with you. Yeah. We're back after this. Here are the numbers after 3 quarters. It is not a pretty picture for either side. A little better for Edmonton, 213 net yards. Ottawa just 105 so far. Time possession favors Edmonton by nearly 8 minutes. There's not been a turnover so far in the football game. We're going to back here with Hall of Fame quarterback Matt Dunnigan.
Oh, yeah, you're going to ask me a really Hall of Fame question here, aren't you?
Hall of Fame question. What should Ottawa do quarterbacking-wise here in the fourth quarter?
Well, I wouldn't be doing what Ottawa's doing in the first place, but I think they're going to continue to rotate him to try to find that magic to move the chains down 11 here. I just don't understand it. It's really difficult for any quarterback to get in a rhythm when you're being taken in and out of the football game. And I feel for him, but also, you know, Rick Campbell's in a tough spot. He's looking for more juice out of the horses he's got on the football field. I'm not sure it's there. But we got 15 minutes to play, and they're professionals. They get paid to play this game. Go out there and leave it on the football field, and it's one play at a time.
Davis dives ahead in the opening play of the fourth quarter for a first down to the 45-yard line. Davis has been marginally more productive at quarterback than Jennings.
Did you see those stats that we just showed? Yes. Come on. Like, trying to get the edge one more time. It's been one of his favorite plays.
As he flushed him out, and now Davis is strong arms that pass down the field, and it is caught.
No.
Was he in bounds?
No, they're saying no.
Dubois out of bounds.
That was Vontae Diggs again, I believe, on the coverage there, coming late, knocking him out.
It's a strong arm throw from Davis.
Yeah, watch him drop his elbow down here and fire a strike. Watch, drop it down and fire a strike.
That's a catch.
Watch his feet. We're going to take a peek at it right here. His first look at it. Did he get him in? Did he get him in?
You need 1 foot.
Oh, yeah, he did.
That's a catch.
Oh, no, ball's out. Never had it.
Okay.
Never had it. It's Vontae Diggs coming in there and swiping it. Out of my watch.
2nd down from the 45.
There it is.
Other side, Davis throws. The pass is caught by Nick Mahar.
That is a dime there. That's a strong arm. That's Dominic Davis right there slinging it.
Into the
beautiful
Eskimo territory. First down at the Edmonton 50-yard line.
Right at you. Sling it out here. Zip. Wow. Sticking on the numbers 1 and 5.
Bring it back up for Harris, and Harris goes out of bounds at the 44-yard line.
At the line of scrimmage, we saw Edmonton do this in the first half, trying to create some magic and some momentum. It looks like they're trying to create some tempo.
Game was 6. It's 2nd down, 4 yards to go. Ottawa has lost 6 straight. Edmonton has lost 4 in a row. Here's Madu.
Oh, my goodness.
And that is stuffed right away.
Yeah, Mike Moore just
Moore's there again.
Having a game. And Red Black fans that are close to us in our section are having none of it.
Don't love the play call.
No, it's just swimming guys at the line of scrimmage saying, get off of me. I mean, it was like Mark Corte was not even there.
So now Lewis Ward will try this from 52 yards out. And it is good.
They like that.
First points since early in the first quarter for Ottawa. Now down by 8. So Ottawa gets something to show for it. Now down 14-6 here in the fourth quarter. A must win at home. And Ottawa has some life.
Back in the Game, the new album from Chad Brownlee. Listen now on Apple Music.
Steve Durbin announced this week as the halftime entertainment for the Grey Cup in Calgary.
Love that. Love that, by the way. That's a huge gift. I mean, they didn't come out bigger than that. Plus the fact that he's married to Nicole Kidman. Just saying. It's a bonus.
Kicked off by Leone. It's taken by Christian Jones. After the 30-yard line, Darius Jackson made the tackle.
And for the record, blue is my color.
What?
Yeah, it's one of his songs. Blue. Not Corey.
I've missed you, Matt.
Yeah, we were not on the same page there, brother.
All right, first down Edmonton from its 30-yard line. 12:45 to go in the fourth quarter.
You look good in my shirt. No, nothing.
Screens it up for Gable. Oh, look at that.
My goodness.
Almost pick a rib time there for Randall.
Or pick six. Yeah, you can see that timing was not there, and Logan's kind of telegraphing this with his drifting in his eyes when he really wasn't pressured. Avery Ellis in his face. Ball's thrown high, and Randall's really close to a big turnover and play there, which they desperately need, second and long.
Edmonton 4 for 8 on second down here in the second half. They were 1 for 10 in the first. Four-man rush. Kilgore has time, has a man. The pass is incomplete. Ellingson went up for it, but it's knocked away by Sherrod Baltimore. That'll bring up third down for Edmonton.
Yeah, it's tight coverage, long throw, ball's in the air. And Sherrod Baltimore, third-year player from Maine, he's going to run a dig here, and Baltimore's going to need his back pocket pretty much the whole way. Close, and he does a nice job of that.
Baltimore lost his starting job a couple of weeks ago for Ottawa. So now Hugh O'Neill will come on to punt, standing inside his 20-yard line.
Yeah, they're just trying to find magic and create competition, keep guys engaged. I know Sherrod Baltimore's a heck of a cover guy.
Good kick by O'Neill. Harris back at the 30. Gets up to the 37-yard line, a 49-yard punt. Ottawa has the ball at its own 37-yard line, now down by 8. Can Ottawa find a way to find the end zone? Here is what the two quarterbacks have done so far. Jennings, just 8 total yards. Of course, there was some losses on sacks.
Yeah, it doesn't bode for getting another opportunity here late in the fourth quarter. Dominic Davis, a little more success there, obviously, and he gets another kick of the can here and start this drive.
Davis stands and throws. A pass incomplete for Sinopoli.
Yeah, Josh Johnson read that play the whole way. A little climb route for Sinopoli coming left to right across the field. And it was just a foot race. And Josh Johnson's going to win that just about every time. And watch, he's going to come here, he's going to climb, and he's going to continue to climb and gain for depth here. And Johnson's going to chase him the whole way. Watch him just get on his horse, close that cushion. Now he's in his hip pocket to make a play. And
just the second time Sinopoli's been the target of a pass this afternoon. Second and 10. Four-man rush. Davis stands and throws, has a man, and it is caught. Complete to Dominic Rhymes. A flag came down.
Yeah, I don't know who's this on. Is this offense or defense? Yeah, and I think it's going to be defensive pass interference, and this is a strong arm and quick strike capabilities that you can see from a guy that's as gifted with the arm strength as the Dominic Davis, and he throws a strike to Rhymes.
Legal contact, Edmonton number 24. The penalty's declined. Ottawa, first down.
A 45-yard gain to the Edmonton 28-yard line. This is Ottawa's deepest offensive penetration.
Yeah, this is Anthony Orange, fifth-year player from Fresno State in coverage. Now he's in chase, and it's too late. Murray State, Dominic Rhymes is out in front of you and is getting a strike thrown from East Carolina. Gotta love this.
Biggest gain of the game for Ottawa. On first down, here comes the run. Screen it out, Davis sets it up.
Be a walk-in.
Brendan Galanders down to the 4-yard line. Brendan Galanders on the screen, the perfect call against the blitz. And Ottawa's in business, 1st and goal from the 3. A gain of 24.
Joe Palpal feeling it here and dials up the right play call. Screen, we've seen Edmonton try to run it. He's going to look left. Galander's going to slide right. Now he's got a big old huge posse out in front of him blocking downfield. And there's Money Hunter coming over, stopping that from being an explosive play for touchdown.
1st and goal. Purdue towards the end zone. No indication yet. Wow. All near scoring plays are reviewed. So we'll see if he crossed the plane of the goal line here.
Well, just a heck of a contact at the point at the line of scrimmage. Boy, it looked tight. They're showing it on the big screen here at TD Place, and well, that's Jordan Hoover's denying him.
That's a touchdown. The ball crossed the plane there.
Says who?
Well, you saw it before he.
You saw it. I'm watching it on the big screen here, and that's pretty tight. I don't think there's enough evidence there, and it's not. They're going for it right here on 2nd and short.
Now the whistle sounded before the ball was snapped here.
I'm not sure if Dave Foxcross whistled the play in.
This is Ottawa's 14th possession of the game.
Yeah,
trying to score a touchdown for the first time in 58 possessions going back 3 games.
There it is. Now he's whistling it in. Now you can play ball.
2nd and goal from the 1. Davis dives in, and there it is. Touchdown, Ottawa. And some very stale fireworks go off in Ottawa.
And these fans are loving it. They were just ready to erupt, and they're loving that. First time they've seen a touchdown in how many drives now, Gord?
58.
That's a drought, one that they're happy to end. Well, and it wasn't easy. The Eskimos are fighting for every inch, but Ottawa wanted it just a little bit more on that one and got the job done, found the end zone.
So now go for 2 and a chance to tie the game. To the goal line, interference will be the call.
That was just too tight a coverage. They read the play in the mail of the REDBLACKS offensive scheme on that play, and it's unfortunate that the
defensive pass interference. Edmonton number 31. Ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. We'll retry the convert.
Ran into the defender. Look, he's right there waiting on it. Well, it's right at the top of your screen, and it's Money. He just gets there just a little too early there. He's got the play covered.
So now the try will come from the 1, and Davis will line up under center. Takes it straight ahead, and the game is tied.
This is a CFL.
Now, last week we saw huge comebacks from
with a lot of points being put on the board. Yeah, these points are hard to come by, but when they do, boy, it's exciting. And the timing in which they happen is actually phenomenal. And this is just big boys eating it up front for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. And well, they haven't had a lot of success, but they weren't going to mess this job up. And they found a way to get the ball in the end zone and a 2-point convert to tie it up. Gotta love it.
A 5-play, 73-yard scoring drive highlighted by a 46-yard pass and run to Dominic Grimes. And Dominic Davis and Ottawa have tied this game at 14 with 8:40 to go. A game Ottawa has to have any chance of making the postseason. 9 times in 21 years, a Western team has crossed over into the East Division playoff. Jones from the 15-yard line, and Jones has some room on the outside. Jones out across the 40. And a Good return up to the 53-yard line. A 42-yard run back, and so Edmonton, having just been tied, has good field position.
And I like that. Just get out, just straight up the football field and then cut. And put a lot of people in chase there, and you use your speed and make something out of basically nothing. That's a big return for Edmonton trying to stem the tide.
Jones took one back 100 yards last week, not for a touchdown. It's been 77 games since Edmonton had a kick return touchdown of any kind.
In a year where returns for touchdowns are huge, running rampant in the CFL.
First down carry for Gable up to midfield. Edmonton's scoring has been from its offense. No kick return touchdowns, no defensive touchdowns this year.
That's right. And a lot of Sean White leads the all kickers and points scored this year because they've had troubles in the red zone. You talk to them now and they feel like that's behind them, but I don't believe it is.
Injured Ottawa player.
And also, if Edmonton wins this afternoon here with a BC loss later on for the nightcap tonight, then you looking at the BC Lions would be eliminated officially from the playoffs. So a few implications here in this ball game.
Michael Wakefield shaking up for Ottawa.
That's an undervalued, underrated player right there. Michael Wakefield's a heck of a defensive lineman.
Came right down to the wire last week in Edmonton. The Eskimos saw Aram Hairolahu bank one off the upright and in for the game-winning field goal. Now they have the ball second down at midfield. Kilgore throws underneath, and we'll see where they mark it, but running back on the catch was Davaris Daniels, and they're going to mark him down at the 52-yard line. He'll be way short of an Edmonton first down.
It's a big stop. See, they're going to roll out there, stay with the hot hand Dominic Davis, or go to Jonathan Jennings.
You are stirring it up.
I am.
You are stirring because you hated it. I know you, and you hated it.
If they put Jonathan Jennings in right now, I'm gonna jump out of this booth and go down there.
Davis has gone the whole way here in the second half, so now O'Neill to punt. Harris is back. Now with Bahar, here's Harris towards the sidelines, and that's a good punt by O'Neill. It goes out of bounds at the 9.
Just directional, high, deep, accurate. Hugh O'Neill. Richard Leone putting on a show.
Our Coors Light answering the call questioned Logan Kilgore and the Red Blacks offense. Well, there's been some offense, but just barely 200 net yards for each team. Yes, answering the call, but there's still got to be another answer coming up in a tie ball game here in the fourth quarter. Back to Gordon Matt.
Ottawa starts at its own 9-yard line. Dominic Davis has taken every possession here in the second half.
Did you hear Rod there struggling with answer the call? Couldn't wait to get it back to us over here.
Davis from the goal line throws a wide side out. That's caught.
Hey, he's had a hot hand.
Holly. And Holly got whacked on the play, but gets out of bounds for a first down to the 23-yard line.
Things are starting to slow down for Dominic here, and why not? He's had the whole second half to himself. And this is a wide side out here throw, and it's a long throw, and he throws it with timing. Banger out. Stick it on him. Move the chains.
Forced out of bounds by Josh Johnson. First down Ottawa from its 22-yard line. Whoa! Davis goes the other way. And Holly again. Holly makes the catch, but gets smacked at the end of it.
Yeah, he does.
Brought down by Don Anumba.
Don is right there. He reads the play. He's just waiting for it. He breaks on it, and he's right there when the ball's caught. He turns around and staples him to the turf. Feels good about that one, too. Why not? It's good defensive play, Don.
Ottawa 4 for 5 on second down in this quarter. Three-man rush. Davis throws underneath, and it's a first down As Holly puts his head down, knocks a helmet off, and gets the first down as he smacks into Nick Usher.
Caleb Holly, fourth-year player from East Central Oklahoma, feeling it right now, knows who those chains are. And, well, when the game's on the line and you're looking for offense, boy, it's important to have some type of football awareness about you.
Davis lost the handle for a moment, gets buried there by Edmonton's Mike Moore.
Oh, no, he's down, too.
Davis is hurt.
It looks like it's his shoulder. So, Jonathan Jennings, you're up.
On 2nd and 20. Well, and this is obvious distress for Davis. And
about time for some magic here that I saw several years back when Henry Burst went to Greg Ellenson, Bank Street Miracle. Here's a look at the play here. Ball just comes out of his hand as he goes to throw it here. Comes right out, catches in the air. Kind of gets stapled on that left shoulder. Another look here at it. It's just unfortunate, but then the weight of both Edmonton defenders causes the damage to Dominic Davis, and that's concerning. And Jonathan Jennings, who's been on the sidelines whole here in the second half, is going to have to find some magic here on 2nd and 19. They've got 18.
Has not had a possession here in the second half.
You look at Joe Powell, and he's looking hard at that call sheet, looking for what he's going to dial up on 2nd and 18. Not ideal for a quarterback who's been sitting on the shelf the entire second half, coming in the ball game, 2nd and 18, game on the line. But what you don't want to do is force the issue and give Edmonton a.
Davis completed 7 of his last 8 passes, engineered that touchdown march that tied the game. 5:17 to go in the fourth quarter.
Just as things start going your way offensively for the Red Blacks, who've obviously been struggling in that department.
Trevor Harris came over to check on Davis, his former teammate.
Why not? You can see the dejection there, frustration.
So on comes Jennings, who had started the last 3 games for Ottawa. Here comes the blitz. Jennings under pressure, and he is dropped. Wrapped up by Vontae Diggs. And that is the 4th sack of the game for Edmonton. Brings up 3rd down. And 25 to go.
Yeah, the guy's making a real case for a player of the game. You know, or 2 cats that are just getting it after for the Edmonton Eskimos. Vontae Diggs and Mike Moore. They're just going to meet at the quarterback and get a tremendous push, little stunt. A few games being played up front, freeing them up. Just want to and desire mostly.
Good kick by Leone. Chases Jones back to his 30-yard line and brought down to 39. A good special teams tackle by Kevin Francis. A 57-yard punt by Leone.
And averages 49.
He gets the job done.
He does indeed. And so does that cover unit, Gord. A team that's been out there a whole bunch running down the football field doing sprints, and they do a heck of a job in coverage there and limiting the punt return.
Coming up next, the live mic game, Saskatchewan at Toronto. That's game 2 of our triple header. And we'll wrap things up tonight with the Alouettes and the Lions from Vancouver at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific.
And Veer Pose, John White right there, pictured in that matchup. Going to have Matthew Schiltz at the helm for the Montreal Alouettes in that nightcap, along with Mike Riley going at it.
Kilgore on 1st down, looking deep, and the pass is caught. Brought down by DeVaris Daniels. And the gain is 51 yards.
That can't be thrown any prettier, boy. That ball was tight and on the money. He slides down, gets a release on the inside, widens him as he wants to push. He's going to widen him right there, and then snaps it to the post, and the ball is thrown perfectly, because that is tight coverage. Chris Randall's right there with the swipe, but that ball is right on the 8 and the 0. Logan Kilgore coming up with the throw of the evening right now for the Eskimos.
1st down, Edmonton from the Ottawa 20. Gable on the first down carry. It's wrapped up by Avery Ellis. A gain of 3 on the play down to the 17-yard line.
One more peek at this Gord. Watch DeVaris Daniels doing his thing. Nice route, but really nice coverage too by Chris Randall. He's right there, and the ball's just thrown perfectly.
So we've reached the 3-minute warning in Ottawa. Tied at 14, Edmonton driving. Two teams trying to snap losing streaks in the first of 3 today on the CFL on TSN.
Coming up on TSN's 1, 3, and 4, part 2 of the tripleheader. BMO Field in Toronto, the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the 2-10 Argonauts. Saskatchewan looking to move into a tie for first place in the West. That'll be following Edmonton and Ottawa. Back to Gord and Matt.
Thank you, Rod. A long afternoon and evening for the guys in the studio.
No, that's exactly where those guys want to be, because they're football junkies. And Studio 6 out in Scarborough at TSN headquarters is an amazing environment. It's our locker room. And
when do the pizzas arrive?
Well, they were there probably at the end of the first half.
Okay. When does the next wave come?
Timeout.
Frankly, I'm not sure.
Ottawa. It's their final timeout.
Ottawa has used its final timeout here.
Wow.
So Rick Campbell and Noel Thorpe jawing on the sidelines. So that's an interesting timeout call there, because the clock has already stopped with the warning.
Yeah, and I just can't make heads or tails of that.
Didn't have the right personnel in the field.
You've had 3+ minutes.
Right.
Did you see? I didn't see anybody substitute. It's a head scratcher.
So it's 2nd and 7 for the Eskimos from the Ottawa 17-yard line.
What was the score of that first ball game on August 9th, 16-12?
Yep.
Another one very similar to that one.
28 points in that one, 28 points in this one. And a big second down play upcoming. Kilgore to the end zone. The pass is caught. Is he in bounds? Yes, touchdown Edmonton. What a catch by Tavon Smith.
Into double coverage.
His first catch of the day.
Into double coverage, too. They're playing too high with the corner falling back. It almost looks like 4.
Now, will this stand is the question. Ottawa right away is indicating that's no catch.
Because they got it up on the big screen here, and the fans are saying, no, sir.
The previous scoring play is under automatic review by the command center.
So you're going to watch Chris Randall. You're going to watch him. He's right down the football field here. You're going to watch Chris Randall fall off on it. Watch him fall off. He got him. He's got help from inside out over the top. He goes and high points it.
Now, does he have possession there? Oof.
Boy, that looks pretty clean from that point. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, double coverage. You got Corey Tyndall right there with a hand in. Randall's right there in tight coverage. Doesn't look like...
He's got a foot down.
Oh, that doesn't look like he's got control. Looks like his body traps it on the ground there. I think that's going to be called back, and Sean White's already out on the football field.
Well, either way, he's trying.
Either way, he's either a convert or a field goal attempt. And he's doing his thing, but I think this one's going to be Sean White looking at a field goal attempt. He's lining up for a...
He's playing for a convert.
Yeah, he is. He's trying
After
to sell
review by the command center, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
Wow!
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Tavon Smith.
I did not see it that way, but, you know, I'm not in the command center. I'm in agreement.
4th touchdown catch of the year for Smith.
That's a heck of an effort on both ends.
So Kilgore from Middle Tennessee State throws to Smith from Iowa.
Yeah.
They played each other today.
Yeah.
Iowa massacred.
47-3.
Iowa massacred Middle Tennessee State.
They hook up here.
They hook up for a touchdown here.
Big one.
And now...
I didn't think it should be counted, but again, I'm not in the command center.
So the
That was
point
huge.
after is good. And Edmonton's back on top, 21-14 with 2:52 to go in the fourth quarter. And Ottawa arguing the call, but they'd have to phone the people that made the call.
Yeah, and this is interesting to see how the Ottawa REDBLACKS offense responds.
Now, Jonathan Jennings is warming up on the sidelines. Dominic Davis does not have his helmet on.
Will Arndt's now starting to warm up because he's number 2 in line here. Dominic Davis his day is done. Jonathan Jennings has got to find some magic in a hurry here. First, a nice return will help.
So a kickoff to come. Greg Morris and R.J. Harris back to receive. 2:52 to go in the fourth quarter.
Last time Jonathan Jennings was on the field, it was 2nd and 18. It was a jailbreak. And
here's the return for Morris. Greg Morris gets outside. Across the 40 to the 43-yard line, a 33-yard return. 2:44 to go in the fourth quarter.
take that field position all day long. Special teams done their job pretty much all night.
So a first down Ottawa from the 43-yard line with Jonathan Jennings at the controls.
Better scenario than last time he stepped on the field, 2nd and 18. 1st and 10, ball in the 43, game on the line. Let's play some football.
On first down, Jennings, a quick throw. The pass is caught for a first down right at midfield as Dominic Rhymes squeezes that for a gain of 12.
Yeah, it's just a slant, flatten the slant, throw it with timing, set your feet, throw with confidence, stick it on. Nice pitch and catch.
Four-man rush on first down, and the pass is caught again by Harris. Up the sidelines he goes. Forced out of bounds there by Money Hunter, but not before he gets down to the 29-yard line for a gain of 25.
Well, watch how quickly this ball comes out. There's not a lot of space there. Just give it to him. Right in between both those defenders, cut coverage to the boundary, meaning the corner's area outside. There he is there. The Will can't get out there. Now Money Hunter, the halfback's forced to make a tackle. He misses that. Pick up of 25.
In a four-man rush. Draw play for Moses Madu. He's got room to run.
North south, Moses.
And he gets down to the 23-yard line for a gain of 6.
Yeah, and this is a draw play. You figure the defense is going to be in zone coverage, and I like the timing of this call. Moses just chose to start going east and west here as opposed to north and south. You draw a posse every time when you do that. Every yard counts now.
Here comes a blitz. Jennings under pressure, and he is dropped. Don Anumba comes in on the halfback blitz, and Jennings is dropped back at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, and this is timely if you're the Edmonton Eskimos and a fan of them and the pressure in this game situation. Anumba is basically coming out and around as Cortez kind of caught in no man's land. He's got 2 to block. You free release the tight end to that side. As a quarterback, you got to know that I got no help.
Actually mark him down at the 31, so it's a loss of a couple. It's 3rd and 12 Ottawa. Here comes the blitz again. Jennings under pressure, throws him in for Madu. He's got a ways to go. Does he get there? Right at the marker.
As a yard short.
They're going to mark him down at the 19-yard line, which is exactly where he had to be for the first down.
It's going to be tight.
Now, where is it going to mark? Right at the 19. Now,
they're bringing out the sticks. Oh, they gave him a first down.
blitz. He's got to be across the 19-yard line where they mark him.
Now they're going to bring the chains out.
This is going to be really close, Matt.
And when he dumped it down, I thought that Moses Madu had no chance, and he just willed this one. He gutted it out. He got what he could. North and south there by Moses. Good decision.
Did he get it? No.
Oh, he's half a yard short.
And Ottawa can't challenge the spot.
And they burnt their timeout.
They have a timeout.
They burnt their timeout on that 3-minute warning, which we're scratching our heads, and not sure if it would have helped them there anyways. Heck of an effort by Moses Madu, knowing the situation.
So a turnover on downs. Edmonton takes over at its 19-yard line, 1:46 to go.
I go back to the draw play on 1st and 10 when he started going sideways, east and west, instead of getting 2 or 3 more yards, and then you get Jonathan Jennings getting sacked by Don Anamba. Every yard counts, right? And they add up. And then you look at that play, and they're half a yard short. And, you know, it shoulda, woulda, couldas.
Gable on first down. Wrapped up quickly. And gets a gain of, call it 3 on the play.
This game's far from being over. You get a stop right here for the Ottawa REDBLACKS, and Noel Thorpe's defense got a bow and neck right here. Get off the football field. Give Jonathan Jennings and that REDBLACKS offense one more crack at it.
Gain was 4 at 2nd and 6. Ottawa has no timeouts remaining. Kilgore on 2nd down, up and throwing. The pass is caught, and it's a first down for Edmonton, a big one for Devaris Daniels.
Boy,
he gets up to the 32-yard line.
He has been a thorn in REDBLACKS' side here late, and that comes up with a big catch. Great coverage, too. I mean, he is blanketed, and this ball spotted perfectly to the outside because of the defender. Again, it's Chris Randall. He's all over the receivers, got great coverage, been victimized once again.
Fresh set of downs and the clock running. Snap the ball right as the play clock hits 0. Gable.
That's a nice job by Logan Kilgore utilizing that clock and taking it down every last second, and they do count. You watch that closely as the guys play the game and watch how those guys handle it. And we got a lot of young quarterbacks playing the game and trying to manage the games late. Some of them doing a better job than others. Logan did a nice job there.
Trevor Harris didn't get to play in his homecoming game, but looks on as Edmonton tries to snap a 4-game losing streak. Clock running at 40 seconds. Back to Gable. His 20th carry of the game. He's stacked up, but the clock will start running once the ball is placed.
They're not. Yeah, I think Logan's going to take it down to 1, probably scramble around and then chunk it as far as he can out of bounds and kill the rest of the time on this clock.
You got to take 5 seconds off in play.
Yeah, well, you run around a little bit, then you chunk it as far as you can with some air time. Throw it out of bounds, go to the house with a much-needed victory.
Get on the bus and go to Hamilton.
Yeah, take on the best team in the country.
Timeout, Edmonton.
Now Edmonton takes timeout.
Yeah, and well, now that changes everything.
Right, so now
took 19 seconds off the clock. Now he's telling them what to do.
Throw the ball was one of the things that Moss said there.
Yeah.
So the clock will start now when the ball is snapped.
We're going to give up 2.
So just run around for 6 seconds. Don't get tackled before the 6 seconds run out, though.
Pitch it back to Ellie, who's back there. He's going to run around. Give up 2.
2-1. There you go. An unconventional way to end the game, but the Edmonton Eskimos
take it any way you can.
Will leave, having snapped a 4-game losing streak. And Ottawa has now dropped 7 in a row. 21-16 the final score for Edmonton. A result that all but finishes Ottawa's playoff chances and keeps the Eskimos alive in the chase for at least a crossover spot in the CFL playoffs.
Some big ones coming up, too. Stay tuned. We got 2 more.
I appreciate it, man.
Mike Moore.
Time now for the Nissan Titan Player of the Game, brought to you by the Nissan Titan, ranked #1 in quality by J.D. Power.
Yeah, I chose Mike Moore because he was relentless on his pursuit and holding Ottawa's offense in check once again, getting after it. Mike Moore, 4th-year player from Virginia, just adds to his sack total, and that defensive line really put a lot of pressure on both quarterbacks from the Red Blacks, and he is our Nissan Titan Player of the Game.
21-16 the final score in favor of the Edmonton Eskimos. Ottawa hasn't won at home since June the 20th. A crushing loss in a close one, but Kilgore guides the Eskimos to the victory. That's the first of 3 on the day. Now back to Rod Smith in the studio.
All right, thank you, Gord. Coming up on TSN's 1, 3, and 4, Part 2 of the triple-header, Saskatchewan at Toronto. For viewers in the Sens region on TSN 5, preseason hockey with Ottawa up against the Montreal Canadiens. Back inside the studio with Henry Burris, Davis Sanchez, and Milt Stegall. And the bottom line for the Red Blacks is this. Gord talked about not quite mathematically done. Ottawa needs to win out. They need Edmonton to lose out. That's how perilous it is for the Red Blacks, who are essentially done, and to miss the playoffs for the first time since your team back in 2014, an expansion club. But I want to talk about the touchdown that won the game for the Edmonton Eskimos, because we were sitting in here, and it was hard to see how that was a touchdown for Tavon Smith. They did review it and still called it a TD, but I know you didn't think it was a touchdown.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to talk about the command center. They're very good at what they do, but that right there, I don't know what they were looking at. I mean, it's clearly not a touchdown from where I'm viewing this. And Tavon Smith, don't get me wrong, he makes a great effort, but when he comes down, he's not controlling the ball. The ball actually hits the ground, and you really see it in slow motion. And I thought that was the reason why we have this command center, because they can slow it down and they can make the correct call. So that right there, you can clearly see it hits the ground. I don't think it's a touchdown, and not saying Ottawa would have came down and scored, but give them a chance. I don't think that's a touchdown right there, from what I'm seeing right there.
That ball's on the ground.
It's on the ground.
You know what? Because I disagree. Because it was ruled a catch on the field, and Roddy said it when it happened, when it's ruled a catch on the field, it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. And to me, the point of I see the ball on the ground, but he's got his arm around the ball. The point of the ball is not hitting the ground. I see the ball hitting, but he has at least half of the ball secured as it goes. So I don't think it's beyond a reasonable doubt that it's an incompletion.
That right there wasn't on?
No. If the point of the ball is hitting the ground, it
doesn't matter, right?
But he's got it secured underneath.
He doesn't have that security.
I don't think
his arm wasn't underneath it. Like you said, his arm's around it, not underneath it. That ball was clearly on the ground.
Clearly on the ground.
It's 3 against 1. I hear you, but I see it.
I didn't think because it hit the ground as well. I thought that's it. Either way, it wouldn't be a touchdown. But anyway, it's a touchdown pass for Logan Kilgore. It's a victory for him in a start in that victory, 21-16. And here he is now with Brent Wallace.
Logan, you guys get a win for a much-needed team right now. How does this feel to come away with the win here and end that 4-game losing streak?
You know, any way you can get it, you know, it feels great. Obviously, there were some plays we wish we could have had back tonight, but at the same time, 2 points is 2 points in the standings, and it's not easy to win in this league. Hats off to Ottawa. They did a great job all night, and I'm just happy to get this win for the team.
You had that big connection in the second half there for 51 yards. I guess how important was that at the end of the day when you see you led to that touchdown?
Yeah, it's important. It's a play that we've been holding for a couple weeks. Tavares did a great job getting open, and ultimately Tavon made a great catch against some tight coverage there in the end zone. So some guys stepped up and made some plays when they counted, and Coach Moss and the coaching staff has done a great job all year keeping us focused, and hopefully it's something we can build on.
How would you assess your play in this one?
I think that there's same as every game, some good, some bad, some ugly, and I think we're moving in the right direction. But we did what we had to do to win tonight.
Thanks, Logan. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
A victory that many would have expected the Eskimos, if they consider themselves a playoff team, which they're closer to being now, would get in Ottawa. So very important that way. Important for Logan Kilgore, too, I would think, in this, Hank, with Trevor Harris gone for, well, he's on the 6-game list right now. But what do you think of Kilgore's performance overall?
I thought it got better as the game went on. However, it was still a bit shaky because, if they're expecting to make a run for the playoffs, they're going to have to play a lot better, or they're going to put one foot in on the playoffs, and they're going to be kicked one step out of the playoffs because Edmonton, you got too much talent. And Logan, he's got to settle down. This is your team now for the time being. And this is your audition to show not only the Edmonton Eskimos, but the entire league that you're capable of leading a team. That's a very talented team. But, again, when it was 14-14, I thought Ottawa was going to have a chance to possibly pull it out. They were lucky that Dominique got hurt.
Yeah, and, he's progressing. You think about it, that was only his second start since, 2016? Yeah. So you can't expect much from him now. He got a lot of help from his defense. We were talking about, remember those 2 games they played against Calgary, that defensive line didn't get after Bo Levi Mitchell. I think over the last 2 games, 10 sacks for that defensive line, that defense. So they're giving their young quarterback some help, and they're going to have to continue doing that until he makes it to the playoffs, and maybe he's able to play a lot better than what he's been playing.
There was something you saw towards the end of the first half that made you think that something clicked for Logan. I saw the same thing. It felt like he started to see things a bit more clearly. And I guess as time goes on, you might see more of that. But it did seem in the second half like he felt more comfortable and he actually had a chance to make some plays.
Well, he was more assertive because we saw some early shots that he took downfield to DeVaris Daniels. And when you're throwing a go route, just keep the ball in the field of play. They ran a double move. The ball went out of bounds. It was little things like that of him not just settling into the pocket. He had happy feet. And when you see a quarterback doing that, he's not in his right wheelhouse. So it was good to see him settle down. They ran C.J. He almost put up 100 yards rushing tonight. But they're going to need C.J. Gable and spreading it around to that all those different weapons to make it happen.
Yeah, can I talk about that Rick Campbell coming out of the halftime interview? He looks at a loss. When his answer for how they're gonna get points in the second half, he said, "Got to find some explosions."
Yeah.
I don't even think he was sure what an explosion was.
Well, bottom line for this, Red Blacks are pretty well done.
Not his fault.
With Edmonton winning and getting closer, the Eskimos are to at the very least a crossover spot. Saskatchewan Roughriders thinking of moving into a first-place tie in the West Division. The Argos, with that Edmonton win, in a whole lot of trouble. They already were with only 2 wins. Part 2 of the triple header coming up here on TSN.
26 right.